Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Lexiot's here, and it's Sunday, so I'm doing a Sunday special report. And this morning, we're talking about the NBA's media deal that was worked out this summer, about a couple weeks ago, actually. So this isn't totally news, but it is a little bit because there's been some details that came out in the last couple days that we can add to it. But of course, with the Olympics and Summer League going on right in a row, we haven't really had a chance to tackle some of these big issues like the new media deal that's been struck by the NBA with Amazon and NBC, and continuing with ESPN, ABC. Well, it's very interesting because, of course, the NBA decided to take the deal with Amazon. And it's partly because Amazon has had very successful partnership with the NFL in the last couple years on Amazon Prime Video and the streaming service and the way that Amazon does things. They feel like cable is getting itself cut by more and more people, and it's going in a different way in that industry. And in some ways, this is their reasoning for why they want to go with Amazon over uh, Time Warner, which is TNT. And I mean, I get that, but TNT's argument is because they wanted to try and match the deal, and they had the funds to do it. Is that they have a streaming service also called Max, and that they said, well, we could do what Amazon wants to do, but there's other factors involved. Amazon has a juggernaut. They have a lot of money, and they're able to throw the money in cash at the NBA to pay the deal. Meanwhile, Time Warner has some debt, and they're not able to be as liquid with their assets to be able to try and sway the NBA. Of course, this has put a lot of people upset. People are happy that we're getting NBC back, and we're going to hear the Round Ball Rock theme song by John Tesh once again, and all that stuff. And sadly, yes, Disney's still involved with ABC and ESPN, and they're really bad coverage. Honestly, they've been one of the worst companies at covering the NBA in the history of the NBA. Not to lie, CBS was great back in the day in the '80s, and NBC was very good when they had it. And I would say Turner's done very well also, but ABC, Disney, y'all suck the way you cover the NBA. It's absolutely one of the worst. In fact, your ESPN channel has made a mockery of that sport and made it worse and worse as time goes on with your stupid ass talking heads and your bullshit. Now, this all leaves the Inside the NBA crew, TNT, in limbo. Everybody's been wondering, well, what about Kenny, Ernie, Shaq, and Charles? Well, this is the thing. It's very interesting what happened with this. And I want to clear this up because there is a lot of confusion about this. There's a lot of misinformation, and it's not totally clear what's going on. Charles Barkley's been very outspoken in the last couple of weeks since this happened. He's been very upset about the NBA rejecting Time Warner's match of the contract with Amazon, and that the NBA rejecting it and saying basically, no, we're still going to go with Amazon over you guys, and it's not going to happen. Well, Time Warner turned around and has thrown a lawsuit on them because they're saying that we've built a brand with you guys for 40 years. And this has been a big part of our sports marketing, and it's something that's important to us. And we don't want to just throw this away. We find a real value in this. In some ways, the NBA is really important to Turner and Time Warner. And it's just a really crazy situation where they like, we built this brand, we have value in this brand, and y'all taking this away from us. Well, we're going to sue you over it. So they are suing the NBA. Time Warner is suing the NBA right now. There's going to be a huge lawsuit for the next few months. And who knows how that's all going to go out. Now, legal experts are speculating that they will not side in the side of Time Warner, and that the NBA will just get to do what they want to do with Amazon, and that Time Warner will have a really hard time winning this lawsuit. Now, part of it is Charles has been very kind of waffly about what he's going to do in the future and how he will do things. Well, I figured it out, and I've got the deets right here. And this has actually been figured out in the last week, honestly. So there was a lot of speculation. Could Inside the NBA survive in another place, like on ESPN or Amazon, trying to just bring them over from there? And well, the first thing is, and Charles has said this, and Ernie Johnson has said this himself, Ernie Johnson will not work for another company other than Turner. I called this when this happened. Ernie Johnson's family, the Johnsons, they're very much like with that company, with Turner. They've been Turner people since TBS and all that kind of stuff. So Ernie Johnson, older, had health problems in the last few years. He's not ready to go into a new company and learn the politics and the terrain of a new media company because he's a top dog at Turner. He's been treated so well. And honestly, he deserves it because he's had health problems in recent years and they've needed to be very comfy to him. So him going to a new company this age is not appealing to him. So Ernie Johnson will retire at the end of this year. After this season, they will get to do TNT inside the NBA for this season, and that will be it. It will be gone after that. Now, Shaq and Kenny are free agents, and they're wide open. They will go to the other companies. We know Shaq will sell anything with his icy hot and all of his different endorsements over the decades. Shaq is a sellout. He will sell out to whoever. It doesn't matter. They will pay him. They will go. And Kenny's a similar person, kind of like that. So Kenny and Shaq will probably be somewhere in some sort of form. Now, Charles is different. This is very interesting. Now, Charles, very outspoken. He's been pissed off. He feels like the NBA is not giving a good chance to TNT for rejecting their counteroffer to try and match the offer. And he's saying that he's mad when money wins over the fans. And this is actually kind of what this is that it's all money. In some ways, the NBA understands that the way that people get the games is going more towards streaming and not on cable, and that they want to continue to go in this direction. Charles has speculated that in 11 years, there won't be any basketball on TV. It will all be through streaming services. And that's probably true the way things are going. Not going to lie. Now, Charles is interesting. This is the funniest thing. Charles Barkley said, oh, yeah, maybe I will go to another company in the last 2 weeks, but he waffled. And he said this, and this is what he said. He said, I don't want to take a pay cut because this is not continuing with Time Warner. In some ways, this is the thing. Charles has a 10-year contract with Time Warner Sports. It's a 10-year contract. Now, there's only one more year of Time Warner Sports covering the NBA because that's the way the NBA wants it. So how does this work? What does this happen this? Well, this is a very similar situation to what happened when Vince McMahon bought WCW from Time Warner. And there were a bunch of guys under contract at that time, even though WCW ended. Hulk Hogan, Goldberg, Sting, Kevin Nash, DDP, Booker T, they all had big contracts that they were going to get paid no matter what by Time Warner, whether WCW existed. Well, this is the very same exact situation that Charles Barkley is in right now. He can just sit at home and he will continue to make his money from Time Warner for the next 10 years, and they've guaranteed it. In the last couple of days, we learned that Time Warner is going to hold on to the commodity that is Charles Barkley, the personality that he is, and he will still be a Time Warner employee for the whole entire 10 years of his contract. That means he cannot go and work for any of those other contracts. And you know what he's going to do? He's going to work for TNT still, even though they don't cover basketball. He's going to cover golf. He's going to cover all the other sports they still have under contract, including college sports. So he will still get to cover basketball, but it won't be the NBA. So Charles is not messing up his 10-year, $210 million contract. He's going to continue to get it, and he will not cover the NBA. So Charles Barkley is going to be effectively done with the NBA after this season because he will continue to take the money just like Hogan did in 2001 and stay at home. And then he's just going to take that Time Warner money. I don't know why Time Warner does this. They make these big, huge contracts with people, and they get in weird places. They've always been very bad at managing contracts and big contracts like that. But in some ways, I understand Charles Barkley is a commodity. He's a very, very funny, interesting, one of the most important broadcasters in the NBA's history. And in some ways, if they're going to lose the NBA contract, well, they don't want to lose Charles. And they aren't. They're going to honor the $210 million contract he has on his 10-year contract, and he will stay with Turner, and he will cover whatever else they want him to cover for those 10 years. So that's the straight gist of it right there. It's the same thing as WCW when they got bought out by the WWF, and those guys went home. They didn't come to the invasion. Goldberg sat at home, and he made millions of dollars not doing jack shit. Now, Barkley, he will continue to work. Like I said, he's not going to just sit at home and collect that check from them. He will do all kinds of other stuff in that company still for Turner, but he's not leaving them because they said this. They said basically, he said, look, if Turner doesn't want to honor my contract, then I'll leave and I will go and I will work for one of the other companies. But if I'm going to make this money in this way, then I'm going to keep it. Well, in some ways, effectively, Turner is blocking Charles Barkley to go be with other people and be on their broadcast. And there's nothing wrong with that. They have the right because he's under contract with them. And Charles likes that money. And he said, well, I don't mind this. I mean, in some ways, it's going to be sad. I won't be able to cover the NBA, but he's getting paid still. And he will be still a Turner employee for the next 10 years. So that's the straight gist of it right there. Listen, this is a really crazy world we're getting into. Amazon, what all are you going to own at the end? Is this really going to be like Idiocracy, where every single thing in this world is all owned by one huge mega company? Because that's where we're going. These people want to consolidate every single thing, everything in the world, Jeff Bezos. It's gross. It's disgusting. I reject Amazon, and I have as little to do with it as possible. Yeah, I do. Well, there's your go. There's your straight up special report on update on this situation. So basically, Time Warner is still suing the NBA. It's going to be a big, huge lawsuit. And honestly, legal experts are saying that, well, they're not going to probably win. The NBA will get exactly what they want. They will just go ahead and go forward with Amazon and the other companies that they decide they want to work with. And Time Warner is just going to be out. And that's just it. And then the Charles Barkley individual stuff I just said. That's basically it right there. So, yeah, there you go. If you guys have any more questions about this situation, I did do some research on it to find out more about the details of it and exactly how it's going down. So there you go. There's your special report on the NBA's recent media deals that they struck last month. Yeah. I wanted to give this good coverage on its own without the distraction of whatever's going on in Paris or the Summer League. So this is what we did this way. All right, Trevor J's in, Commissioner of Fun. Good morning, Raptors family. Imagine how beautiful this world would be if we all treated each other with compassion and kindness. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I hear you. Man. Yeah, I appreciate you being here, Trevor. It's good to see you. Trevor's saying that the France men's basketball team met the U.S. team 4 times in Olympic history, and they have lost every single time. 1948. Wow, going way back. 2000. That's the year that France put out Canada the last time, and then this time, 2020, and then 2024. All right, on this note, I want to read a Brian Windhurst tweet. This is so stupid. All right, this is something Brian Windhurst has posted this morning at 8:30 this morning. Brian Windhurst is saying, idiot, from ESPN. Hollywood loves a trilogy. For LA 2028, it could be Team USA versus France 3 in the gold medal game, with the French youth on the rise and the challenge for America to replace its national team stars. It sounds like we know who one of the main script writers is for the script writing for Olympic storylines. It sounds like it's Brian Windhurst. In fact, this is what I wrote to him in the comments on this post. I said, this is what I said to him. Already script writing the next Olympics? So this is the creative process for getting the right matchup for the sneaker apparel companies and the NBA media like ESPN wants? Just preordain it, and the Olympic referees will railroad France to the gold medal game again in 2028. Do you get a writing credit, Brian Windhurst? That's what I wrote to him after that. Because in some ways, I feel like this is what they're trying to do already. I mean, I get it. Wemby is a star, and y'all want to really market at him. It's all about this and apparel and Nike and Air Jordan and all that kind of crap. It's very much economics and a marketing and a money thing. It's not even about the athletics. In some ways, I am not totally sold that Wembanyama is going to be the dominant force in the league at this point. I think that these Olympics showed me something, a big, huge flaw in him, and that there's some problems here. Spurs fans may not want to hear what I have to say, but there's weird things about Wemby. In some ways, we were all dazzled and mystified. ESPN made such a big deal out of him for the whole year before he got drafted. So in some ways, he's a made commodity by their bullshit media machine. And well, they want to perpetuate it. And then some one of these ways is to say, all right, we're already decrying that we want USA versus France 3 gold medal game in 2028. I think there's quite a few countries that would want to fuck that up, is what I would want to say to that. So it's like, whatever, winners. Are you a script writer for Olympic storylines like the one that went down yesterday? Oh man, you really take all the fun out of it when you write it like 4 years before it even happens. Is this what's going to happen? Do we even need to tune in? Because you're a spoiler alert. Seriously, is this exactly what y'all are going to do, ESPN and the shoe companies and NBA and FIBA? Are you going to railroad us to another USA versus France final in men's basketball in 2028? Because it sounds like y'all are already written the script, Brian Winders. Ooh, a trilogy. That sounds fun. Everyone loves a trilogy. France versus USA 3. No, we hated Golden State versus Cleveland 3. So get your head out of your ass, Brian Winders. Some other team's going to come and play the USA team in the gold in that games. Watch. In some ways, it'll be because France won't have that home advantage they had this last 2 weeks like they did. It's so fucking crazy. They're not going to get that in LA. No, they won't. USA will get all the advantages, but they don't need them anyway. So, yeah, I have to say something right now that's very special and important right now. And that is, I apologize to Chris, MSJ, former Raptor freak that was on this channel all the time, because he won the bet. USA did win the gold at the Olympics. I said I'd take the field and he could have USA. Well, he won. He won. You got it. You good job, Chris. You made the right prediction. I miss you, guy, and I hope you do well in Korea. I'm not saying I want you to come back, but I have to admit when I was wrong. I got an argument with him, and I said basically, I said I'll take the field because I really did truly believe that the world was ready to try and catch up with the United States in basketball this Olympics. Well, in some ways, I should have thought about the way that legacies for Hall of Famers and superstars like Kevin Durant, LeBron James, and Steph Curry have to go down and be written, that they can't be sullied. And, well, maybe I was naive and a little ignorant to that fact. And, well, MSJ, I eat crow today, and I say you were right. And you know what? This is where Lex comes around and says when he's wrong. And that's what I'm doing right now. All respect and love to our guy going to Korea, even though we don't see him anymore. In some ways, I don't mind not seeing him anymore still because he was really chaotic for my channel. Let's just put it that way. All right, let's see. Trevor's saying also, Kevin Durant is the first athlete to win 4 Olympic gold medals. Now, let's preface this. He's the first United States basketball player to win 4 gold medals. He's not the first basketball player to win 4 gold medals, and he's not the first American to win 4 Olympic gold medals. He's the first men's basketball American to win 4 gold medals. You have to make sure you have all of the specifications in there, Trevor, so that it is correct. I do believe there is another Olympic basketball player, men's, that has won 4 gold medals, and his name is Oscar Schmidt. I may be wrong on that, but I think that may be right, honestly. All right, let's keep going. Trevor J saying, Steph Curry show. Why is he Steph Curry showed why he is the greatest shooter yesterday with 8 threes, 24 points, and LeBron was named the MVP. All right, yeah, Trevor's just reporting what we all know from the news. Steph Curry was amazing yesterday. In some ways, the adulation of people that really like him came out on Instagram. In fact, we'll do the Instagram stories in a second. It's very interesting that Chef Curry finally figured out the FIBA three-point line right in time near the end. In fact, in the last 2 games of the Olympics, he was amazing with his three-point percentage. We were saying Jamal Murray couldn't shoot threes in the FIBA line for some reason. Well, Steph Curry was shooting just as bad as Jamal earlier in the Olympics, but he really woke up in the last 2 games, in the last couple days. So kudos to Steph Curry showing his ultimate talent and coming out there and showcasing it on the highest stage in the way he did. It was overpowering. France was 3 points behind, and then all of a sudden he bombed a bunch of threes, and USA was way ahead. So yeah, Steph Curry's a badass. I have a lot of respect and love for Steph Curry. I don't hate on Steph Curry. In some ways, I understand who Steph is, being the son of Del Curry, and his time here in Canada is something that's important. His wife is Canadian, and he's somebody that I don't hate on. So Steph, good job. Very, very proud of you. And yeah, in some ways, I'm glad you were the guy. Now, LeBron winning the MVP, well, this is just the same as like the in-season tournament. It's like, yeah, we got to give him everything we can while we can before he rides off in the sunset. So, I mean, I don't hate this too much. In some ways, you could make a case that LeBron is the MVP because he's kind of the glue guy for USA, and he did all kinds of stuff. With the steals, the blocks, the rebounds, the assists. He was an all-round player. In some ways, I could have maybe argued that Durant was better for the team and more important, but maybe not because he was kind of show up late at being injured, and he was overpoweringly good. But also at the same time, they got to give LeBron his kudos because he's just the king. And that's just how it is. So it is what it is. They, of course, named the five, the all Olympic five, starting five, Dennis Schroeder on that team. Wembanyama, which is, I guess, I will say this. Wemby had a much better gold medal game with his shooting. He woke up and was the leading scorer in that game and finally actually started making shots. So he kind of rose to the occasion in that game. But how much of that is like, what, you better play really good in this game because this is the game that's going to make your legend. And if you want to sell more apparel and things like that, you need to do this. If you come out there and you stink like you have in some of these Olympic games, well, kiss your apparel contracts goodbye, Wembanyama. So it's kind of like this was the most pressured thing for him economically in some ways to build his legend in this goofy ass game. So I totally understand why Wemby stepped up. And, well, he finally made his shots. He was not making his shots for most of the Olympics, but he did do better in the last couple games. Similar to Curry. Yeah, so the other guys were LeBron, Wembanyama, Dennis, Nikola Jokic, which makes complete sense, being the best player on Serbia, and Serbia doing quite well, getting the bronze. And then the other one was I believe it was who was the other one? It was American. Was it Curry? Did they put Curry on that or Durant? It was either Curry or Durant. One of those two guys got the other spot. So there were two Americans on that. Now I would, switch it around a little bit myself. I'd take Wembanyama out of that top five and put Yabusele in there. Yabusele making the second team for the Olympics, along with SGA, Giannis, Franz Wagner, and Bojan Bogdanovic. So yeah, in some ways, those guys got their luster, and SGA getting all Olympic second team is a nice little kudos on the end of it. But still, in some ways, I wanted RJ somewhere in there. I know a lot of us liked the steadiness of RJ in these Olympics, even with just the 16 points in the last game against France. So the all Olympic teams are interesting. I would have changed them around a little bit myself. I would have, yeah. I really would have put Yabusele as the best French player. Seriously, he was better than Wembanyama overall throughout the whole thing. That dunk he had on LeBron, amazing. Some people trying to say that's a revenge for Frederick Weiss and Vince Carter in 2000. Yeah, whatever. LeBron's laying on the ground. It's quite a beautiful picture. Now, I'm going to wonder about Yabusele. Is that guy going to come and play in the NBA now? Because you're known now, bro. You could come to the big league. And honestly, I think you might be able to play there. You're a little bit like Draymond Green. Maybe they won't let you play like Draymond because you're not Draymond. But I don't know. It could be very interesting if the dancing bear shows up in the NBA all of a sudden. Out of anybody in this competition that has the best chance to jump to the NBA from somewhere else, if they wanted to, Yabusele's that guy. Definitely that guy. I have a lot of respect for Yabusele. I don't have a lot of respect for most of the French team, but I do for him. Nicolas Batum announcing he is going to retire from the Olympics after this game. He's done. He's not going to represent France anymore into the future. Now, LeBron was asked after the game, what about 2028 in LA? And he said, I don't think I'm going to be in Los Angeles, is what he said. So, yeah, that's pretty likely that if LeBron's going to do a farewell tour with Bronny this year, he may retire from the NBA. Why would he be in the Olympics in 2028? That's what I'm saying. Some people are saying that yesterday's game and the way it went down was like the end of an era. That in some ways, this is the swan song, the farewell to these legends of that era, Durant, James, and Curry. That in some ways, by 4 years from now, I don't know, maybe Steph will be there. Kevin, maybe, I don't know. LeBron, probably not, for sure. So is this really the ending of that chapter of the NBA period of LeBron, Kevin, and Steph, and that we are switching over to the new era? Some people want to write that, like script writers like Brian Winders, that we're switching to the Wemby era now, or whoever else the new face of the NBA might be. Maybe a young man named Barnes in the North. I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. I think that's somewhat true. But until those guys actually retire from the NBA, I don't think it's actually true exactly. Now, they're not as effective, and they don't really add up to getting championships at this point. Some Warriors fans and other people are crying and whining that the Warriors need to get their act together and not squander the very end of Steph Curry's career. It's the NBA. What kind of convoluted, privileged motherfuckers are you that you think, oh, you just give this to Steph? He doesn't deserve this. Well, did LeBron deserve the Lakers in the last few years? Probably not. No, but who cares? There's nothing that's just deserved for people in the NBA like this. And Steph Curry's got a lot of championships. Y'all thinking, oh, he doesn't deserve to be on a bad team for the end of his career. Well, that's life. That's how things go for a lot of players throughout their career. You can think about Kobe and his end of his Lakers career. Yeah, it wasn't that successful. It's just the natural rise and fall of a player's career. Steph Curry's a very powerful player still. Can he carry the Warriors at this point with the roster that he's going to have around him next year? Probably not. But that's just the natural progression of cycles in the NBA. That man rode a crazy-ass dynasty for 12 years. And y'all are going to be like, oh, no, you can't let him have shitty years at the end. No, motherfucker. This is just how it is. I love Steph Curry. Steph Curry's great, but y'all saying, oh, this and that, y'all, seriously, get over yourselves and just let things naturally be how they're supposed to be. If the Warriors aren't going to keep up, they can't keep the dynasty. Well, they can't because it runs out. Hey, at least they got to have a dynasty for a decade. The Raptors only got allowed to have their championship team for 1 year. So, yeah, excuse me for not feeling sorry for Warriors Nation and the decline of their team. I'm sorry. I'm not feeling sorry. Yeah. Yeah. Cowboys here. Good morning, Lex and Raptor Freaks. How nice that world would be, Trevor. Yeah, it would be nice if it was like that. Now, see, this is a thing. There's greedy ass horrible people out there that are in power that won't allow for this. Everybody loves stories of nice compassion and good things. Why wouldn't we have a community and a society like that? Because there's psychopaths at the top that just want greed, and they're crazy and they don't give a shit about anybody else except for themselves and getting their fifth house and their fourth boat and their 100th car. That's what I'm talking about right there. That's the problem right there. Those are the people in the way of that vision, Cowboy and Trevor. So reject the 1%, reject the billionaire class, and let's tax the hell out of them so they're not billionaires anymore. Nobody needs $1 billion. And that money is stolen money from all the working class, and it needs to be redistributed back into society so that society is healthy and has the ability for people to house themselves and not live in parks and feed their children. Drop the mic. Bam. All right, there you go. Trevor's saying, good morning, Cowboy. Thank you. You're welcome. Cowboy's saying, good morning, bro. All right, and Cowboy's got the lineup of the emoticons, and Tom Duke has come in as the emoticon giant in the middle of the night, and he has switched our emoticons around. And it looks like right now we're rocking the 30th anniversary logo. We've got the Vince Carter Raptor Dunk logo. We've also got the Raptor Head logo. We've got Masai Ujiri. Who is that? That is, Jama Mahalea. We got Dan Tolzman, the assistant GM. We got Darko Rajakovic. We got Monique Lawrence, the super fan. We've got, is that Alvin Williams? That looks like Alvin Williams. Let me see. That's Alvin Williams. Yep. Birthday boy last week. Jack Armstrong, Matt Devlin, and myself. And that's the emoticon lineup right now. Dap to you, Tommy Dookie, doing your work in the middle of the night out in British Columbia. Love it. Trevor's saying people booed Joel when he received his gold medal, and rightfully so. What do they expect? The man rejected the country of France, and the Olympics are in France. What do you expect? They're out there doing DX, and like his teammates are even getting in on it. Like, let's hear more boos for Joel. I mean, whatever. I mean, Joel's an idiot. And well, if he plays for Cameroon next Olympic cycle, maybe I'll have more respect for him. Maybe I will. Dana is here. Canadian Dana is in the house, a great patriot, one of my favorites. Good morning, everyone. My two-finger salute today goes to the NBA for turning its back on TNT and Joel the Clown as well. There you go. Two-finger salute on a nice Sunday by Dana to the NBA for turning their back on TNT. Yeah, it sucks. I mean, it is what it is. There's always going to be change. Change happens. Change is going to perpetually happen throughout everything. But in some ways, I hate change that's going towards more corporatism and grossness. Listen, we need better leadership in politics that isn't sold out and looking out for the big guy and not looking out for society. And we need to fix this. We need to be looking out for humans, for people, and not for money and corporatism. It's really, really bad. Really, really bad. Good to see you, Dana. Monique is in. Superfan Mo is here. Good morning, Raptor Freak crew. The many times Chuck had to speak on this story, it's sad. Well, he just changed it around a little bit. He's a very outspoken person. We know this about Charles Barkley. He always has been. But he had to clarify because he was trying to feel it out. In some ways, he did his negotiations publicly, Monique, because he's kind of like, I don't like this. I like being on TNT. Can we get this back? And then when they rejected TNT, Charles came out very angry with the NBA and saying this is not good for the fans because they want inside the NBA. And then he had to question, well, what is my contract right now, Time Warner? And will you honor it, the $210 million that I'm owed over the next 10 years? And they said, yes, we will, Charles. You are a valuable asset. We really love you. And we want you to stick in the Turner family, even if the NBA leaves us. And well, Charles said, well, I'm with you, Turner. I love you guys. I love Ernie and I love you guys. And I know I'm like Ernie. I'm just staying with Turner. Who knows? Chuck and Ernie may still be a pair on other sports going forward, just not on NBA telecast. And I don't blame Charles for this. It's like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You got a good contract already. Don't go screw around. You know what you can expect from Turner. You've been working with them for 40 years. They've been so good to you. It's once again the same thing. Ernie Johnson and Charles Barkley go to work for Amazon and they hate it. They hate it, just like Nako did when he went to their warehouse in Mississauga. They say, these guys are assholes. This is a messed up company. Why did I do this? I could see that happening. If Charles has already got the money coming from Time Warner, just stick where you're at. So there's a little bit of public negotiation, and that's why Charles was so outspoken, Monique. That's right. Mo's saying that last night, Darko and IQ were in Paris last night. All right, let's do the Instagram stories since I've gotten two cues to do it right now. First of all, we've got Grady Dick. He is on a patio at a hotel in Malaga, Spain. So this is when they're starting the training camp. That it's like all the Raptors are assembling in Spain for their Spain training camp right now, because this is the first sign. Grady's out there on the patio, on the balcony, looking over a beautiful, beautiful pool. And so was Jonathan Mobo, guys. Jonathan Mobo is in Spain also, in Malaga. Hola is what he's saying. And he's got that great picture that's been shown from yesterday of Wembanyama's crazy long body trying to get at Steph Curry shooting the crazy three. That's such an awesome picture. In some ways, that picture is like a Pulitzer Prize winning picture in some ways. And I don't even like this whole situation. It's just a beautifully caught moment in some ways. Gary Trent Sr. is getting made fun of for how he eats his grits this morning. Yeah, he has a friend who's telling him he ain't putting no sugar on the grits, just some oatmeal. So he did that. And yeah, they're going back and forth, him and his friend, talking about how he makes the grits. Yeah, it's pretty funny, actually. And then he's also talking about how Michael Jackson said that he wanted to put the video Billie Jean on MTV because MTV had not put any black artists on MTV in the very beginning. It was all Duran Duran, Blondie, and The Clash. And where were the black artists in music? Well, Michael Jackson was he broke the barrier, and he was one of the first black artists shown on MTV with Billie Jean. And that's why he made that video, because he wanted to get it on MTV and challenge them. Slim Duck is celebrating his hero, Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant is somebody who Chris Boucher wanted to be like. That's who he wanted to be like when he started playing basketball. And he had that dream until he gave up on it on a Boxing Day against Cleveland when he realized the NBA is hard to beat Kevin Durant. And, losing by so much to the Cavs on that day and Boxing Day, he gave up that dream. He said, I'll just be a role player. But yeah, he's celebrating Kevin becoming the first player to win 4 gold medals in men's basketball history. Yeah, that's a big deal. I'm pretty sure that's only in the U.S. There may be a guy way, way back that won them, but I may be wrong too. Isaac Bonga of Germany, former Raptor, is saying thank you to their coach, Jordy, who's sailing off in the sunset. He's done coaching Team Germany, and he's leaving the team to go on to other things now. In some ways, I don't know if the little spat between him and Dennis last summer had anything to do with it. I don't know if it's just that he's ready to move on because it's just been the nice time of doing the job. And well, it's time for somebody else to come in and coach it. So Isaac Bonga celebrating his German coach on his way out. And also, Dennis Schroeder had some interesting quotes about it, talking about the difference between the FIBA game and the NBA game. He's saying that the FIBA game is pure basketball. It's like just pure basketball and doesn't have all the extra stuff. But the NBA is still the best league in the world, is what Dennis said, basically in his quote. After they lost to Serbia in the bronze game, so Germany did not medal in the men's basketball in the end. Ulrich Shamshe has got Joel Embiid on his Instagram stories, celebrating a Cameroonian winning a gold medal with a American team. That's weird, Ulrich, but I get it. Joel, in some ways, is a national hero and somebody you look up to because of his path in the NBA. Well, don't look up to him too much because honestly, he's not a good example for you. How about that? Yeah, let's keep going with the Instagram stories. Next, we got Norman Powell. He's doing his camp. He's got all kinds of youngsters there, learning all kinds of stuff. So Norman doing a good thing like a lot of players do in the summer, holding youth camps and teaching the youth and giving them a chance to get inspired to go for their basketball dreams also. So good job. He's also taking note. This is very interesting. Yesterday was 8/10/24, August the 10th, 24. And in some ways, people are making light of that. Those were the 3 numbers that Kobe Bryant wore between the Lakers and the Team USA. And that's pretty interesting, actually. That, 8, number 10, and number 24, 8/10/24. So numerology meant to be is what Norman Powell's saying. It was meant to be that USA would win that day. So, yeah, pretty interesting there. Let's see who else we got. Lloyd is celebrating Steph Curry for being so amazing. Scotty Barnes is celebrating Steph Curry, and he's got the 3 American flags. We talked about this yesterday. Y'all were saying, well, maybe Scotty doesn't make the American team. Maybe he'll play for Canada. No, he's going to play for USA. He'll get to play for USA at some point. And him showing his allegiance and his pride in the USA team winning the gold yesterday and showing, Steph Curry is one of Scotty's favorite players of all time. He sat on Twitch one summer and we watched just Steph Curry highlights, and he was just fawning over it. And I've heard him talk about Steph Curry. I've heard Grady Dick talk about Steph Curry. So there's a lot of Raptors that have a lot of respect and love for Chef Curry. And well, they were showing it yesterday on their Instagram with the accomplishment. DeMar DeRozan showing a respect for Steph Curry on his Instagram with his bye-bye. And of course, DeMar is an Olympic gold medalist for the United States in men's basketball himself. Kyle Lowry, another guy, he's got the love guru. I don't know why he's got the love guru, Mike Myers, on his Instagram stories. That's a little weird. That movie was not good, Kyle. And I don't know why you put that on blast there. Let's see what else we got on the Instagram before I click out of here. Is there anybody else to note? Oh, Emmanuel Quickly. This is what we started this with. Emmanuel Quickly's on the streets of Paris, walking around, taking in the sights, taking nice pictures of different buildings and streets. And there's a nice mural he took a picture of on the wall. There's the Arc de Triomphe with the Olympic symbol on it. There's a nice cathedral. And whoa, look at there. There's our guy Emmanuel himself with his coach, Coach Darko, being tourists. And they're on a sidewalk in Paris somewhere. And Emmanuel's out with Darko, having a good time. You know how Darko is. He's like, hey, Emmanuel, why don't we go out and have a coffee? Yeah, let's go have a coffee and a dinner. And we'll walk around the streets of Paris. Come on, my guy. Let's go. All right, Coach Darko, let's go. So, yeah, Emmanuel hanging out with his coach just in real life, out on the street. I love to see IQ with Darko in the streets of Paris, smiling big. Very nice picture of those guys, too. And then they show him images of him at the game. Of course, he was there to witness the United States beating France yesterday. And he's saying, "You different, brother," about Steph Curry. Raptors official has got Andre DeGrasse and the Raptors jersey on their Instagram stories. Very interesting stuff there. Jamal Shed has got some guy named Jad or something. I don't know what's going on there. Jordan Wara is at Highmark Stadium, and he's with the Bills Mafia. Of course, he's a huge Buffalo Bills fan, and Wara is there in the arena on the field, so he has some access as a native Buffalo person. And that's it. That's your Instagram stories for today. So it's nice to see some of the Raptors are in Malaga, Spain, as of this morning, getting ready to collectively work out. I'm sure Scott's there also. And then also, nice to see IQ and Darko on the streets of Paris as tourists and buddies just hanging out. Very, very cool. Thank you, Monique, for the cue card to go to the Instagram stories. Fiercey is here. Let's see what MJ's saying this morning. Good morning, fam. Currently heading to Jamaica for my friend's wedding in 2 days. I will try to catch the stream during the week. Take care, fam, and wishing you well. There you go, MJ. I hope you have a safe trip and enjoy your time in Jamaica for your wedding. That'll be awesome. That'll be an awesome time. Cowboys saying, Monique, yes, yes, and yes. And Canadian Dana, dap. And Eye Candy, enjoy your time in Jamaica. What a beautiful place. Last time I went to Jamaica, this is what Cowboys saying. Hang on, it jumped ahead for some reason. Let me make sure I get every comment. I last time I went to Jamrock, I missed 2 flights and didn't want to leave. You did that on purpose, didn't you, Bradley? Bradley's like, all right, listen, ta-da. I'm not coming back for a bit. 647-833-6844. I am in Jamaica. And I forgot to get on the plane. And I forgot to get on that one, too. And, well, I'm just still here. What do I was doing? It's like, ta-da, where are you? Bradley. Trevor say, last time when I went to Jamaica, I stayed at the RIU Resort Hotel, beautiful place in Montego Bay. Very cool. All right, let's get a little endorsement for this hotel from the Commissioner Fund, the jet flying, styling, and profiling. Woo! Yeah, Trevor J lives that Ric Flair lifestyle. That's right. Cowboy saying, I'm so excited for the Raptors this year. Walter was a steal. It is Walter. It's not Walters, guys. Jacoby Walter. It is singular, just to get it right. Mobo was a steal. Shed was a steal. Shamshay was a heist. I love that. The NBA effed up for letting Masai and the Raptors have him. Let's go. Listen, I mean, I just need good things to happen for the Raptors. And I'm not going to say the NBA effed up yet. And we just need to have good things happen and grow and get back into things after our rebuild now. But I agree. I'm very proud and awesome about like the second day of the draft and all the interesting players we got from the draft this year. It's going to be very, very intriguing to see the learning curve and how well these guys come along. Shamshay is so intriguing. And then, of course, you got to talk about Brandon Carlson. You got to talk about Shed. You got to talk about Walter. Yeah, all of them. Derps is in the house. Let's see, Raptor Freak. Derps is in here. He's saying, I thought Charles Barkley already staying with TNT for like 10 years, 200 plus million, no? Yeah, that's what it is right there. TNT will not have the NBA contract anymore, but Charles will continue to stay on that channel and cover all the other sports. He's probably going to be doing more golf, guys. I'll bet you TNT may get more golf contracts, and they may put Charles in as a golf commentator. But yeah, he's not leaving. He's just like those guys from WCW. They said, yeah, we'll just collect the money from Time Warner, even though this company is not involved anymore with wrestling. You know, they did that. So that's what's going on. Yeah, Derps, you're right. That's exactly right. He's going to collect his money and stay a Turner employee because they said they want, yeah, we want to pay you this money still, Charles. We're not going to rip this up because the NBA is gone. We love you. You're a personality. You're an institution and you're an asset. And we want to continue to have you here. So that's the decision, and that's how it went down. Stargate's here. Good to see Stargate. It's been a little bit. Good morning to you. Good morning, Raptor Freak family. Olympics, track and field are over, so I'm back. There you go. He was in deep on watching the track and field. I hope you enjoyed the hammer throw. That's what I would say, Stargate. I hope you enjoyed the hammer throw. Alan Tam, Bam's son, is here. Canada flag bearer Summer McIntosh and Ethan Katzberg closing Olympic ceremonies. Thank you for the deets. You know, in some ways, I feel like Alan Tam has been like my Olympic sideline reporter. He comes in and he just drops the tidbits on the Olympic like medal count and different things going on. Thank you, Alan, for this news. This makes sense. Both of them, Summer, the absolute most successful Canadian at the Olympics this summer. Summer McIntosh will be the flag bearer in the closing ceremonies for Canada. That's fantastic. And of course, I just alluded to the hammer throw. And Ethan Katzberg will be the male flag bearer. It's too bad it's not RJ Barrett. That's where I wanted to see RJ or SGA carrying that Canadian flag at the end because they got something. But 2 gold medalists will be carrying the flags. And thank you, Alan, for your coverage over these Olympics. I really do appreciate special Olympic coverage correspondent. Alan Tam, bam, son. Look how far you've gone. You're now the Olympic correspondent. I love it. Cowboys saying the Olympics is done. Bam, son. It's not over yet. They're actually playing right now. The women's basketball final game, gold medal game, is currently going on right now. France versus USA are playing right now. Aja Wilson and Jewel Lloyd and the crew are going to go for that gold and get that other gold for the women's team on the basketball side. So that is still happening, Cowboy. There are a few more events just finishing up, and then they'll have those closing ceremonies this afternoon, honestly. I don't know what they do that to these women. They got to get all prettied up for the closing ceremonies. They're going to make them go play, and then they're going to want to go straight to the parade. They better be close by. That's what I'm saying. You let them go and do that. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, let's see. Bam, son. That's right. Chuck is pissed, Stargate saying. He was pissed. He doesn't like it, but he's okay now. I mean, he's okay now. I'm sure he's okay now. He just wanted to make sure his money was still there in some ways. But I mean, I get it. He's like us, and he understands the fans are losing out when we lose inside the NBA. Now, this is gonna actually mean that there won't be any inside NBA ever again after this season. Because I'll tell you right now, Shaq will go to Amazon. Shaq will go to Amazon. And if Charles is under contract with Turner, well, they can't work together anymore. And I don't know what the Jet will do. The Jet will probably go with Shaq. I'm telling you, because he knows the NBA. He's not going to be able to do golf like Charles. And he could do maybe the college sports with them, but he wants to go with the sport, the company. So I'm going to guess that Kenny the Jet and Shaq, if they can find jobs elsewhere, they will. They will. Who knows? Maybe Kenny Smith will just do betting companies now and advertisements for them. Gross. Blech. Bleh, bleh. Yeah, David's saying Chuck is always pissed. He's not really. In some ways, people get a bad label because they can be cantankerous. I'm a cantankerous guy, sure, but I'm not always pissed. I'm a lot pissed though recently, but not always. There's different periods of time in my life where I'm actually pretty low key and happy. But this has been a tumultuous year, and I've been pissed more often than not recently. Yeah. But yeah, Chuck is the same way. He's just got opinions. He speaks out. I wouldn't say that he's always pissed. I mean, Bret Hart gets the same thing. Is Bret Hart always pissed? No, he's not. He's a happy guy. It's just that he has been labeled as a complainer, and that people think, oh, he's just always pissed and complaining. Bret Hart, Charles Barkley, and the Raptors freak. We're all birds of a feather. Yeah, we get upset about things. We're passionate. And that's what it is. All right, let's see the classic card of the day since David is here with us. Let me see who I got here. I think I've done that card before. Let me just see if I can get a better card. Let's not do that one either. That one too. This is weird. I'm getting like cards that are recycled. It looks like that we've done in the past. Is this the wrong box? Did I grab the wrong box to bring it here? Okay, we'll do this one. This is a good card to do today. All right, here we go. All right, don't half-ass me. Write the whole entire name so that we can give the points correctly to someone on the classic card of the day. David's going to tell us who gets the points and how many points they get. So here's the classic card. I don't know if I need to bring it too close, but let's see if you guys can figure out who this player is in here. Who is that player? Of course, we can see 2 players on there, and I know who the other player is too. Bonus points if you can get the second player also, but the main player is the Sonics player. So whoever can name the Sonics player will get Nate McMillan is wrong. Don't half-ass me. Don't half-ass me. You just half-ass me, full ass, you idiot. Come on, Kareem. Don't do this to me. Don't half-ass me, my guy. Seriously. Nate McMillan is not right, and Kareem isn't right either because he half-assed. Sam Bowie is wrong. Mike. Sam Bowie is wrong. Are you saying that for the other guy? Because he looks kind of like Sam Bowie, but that's not Sam Bowie. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. And Butt Doll, are you timed out now? You're timed out, so you can't even fill it in. Y'all, somebody steal it from Kareem because he half-assed. Somebody steal it from Kareem. You can figure it out from what he said. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Sam Perkins. Isaac's got it. Isaac's got it. Sam Perkins is the right name. Now, for bonus points, who is the other player in the picture? It is actually an original Raptor. That's the crazy thing. That is an original Raptor that is in the picture with Sam Bowie. He's in a Warriors jersey, but he may be a little tough to figure out. Let's see. 50 points to Isaac. Yeah, that's the easy part. If anybody can get the second player, that'd be really good. TJ Ford? No, you got to realize Sam Perkins is a center. He's a very tall man. So the other guy's a center also. So it's that's not a point guard, man. So you got to think about that. That's a center that's up against him in this picture. So yeah, I don't know if nobody can get it, I don't mind not giving points for it because it's not the classic card. Sam Perkins is the card. And Kareem couldn't remember his name. That's why he didn't write it in. Oh man. Well, Isaac, the victor of the spoils. Isaac Campbell going to get the 50 points. But yeah, I'm going to say going once, going twice if nobody's got a good guess on the other guy. And because I don't really care if you guys get it or not. I'll say he has the same last name as one of the main actors on Seinfeld. He has the same last name as one of the main actors, the main four actors on Seinfeld. Tracy Murray is not right, Mo. Tracy Murray was a guard forward. This man is a center that we are looking at right now. That is a center. Tracy Murray was a guard forward. So I've given good clues. His last name is the same last name as one of the main actors of the four actors on Seinfeld. And he's an original Raptor. He was on the first team of the first year of the Raptors. So yeah, TJ Ford's too recent. And Tracy Murray's the right time frame, but he's not the right position. Adam Dreyfus. That's a weird name, Tom. That's a weird one. I've never heard that one. Good to see you, Tommy. I missed you, my guy. Nah, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and do one more clue. And then I will say nobody's getting it if they don't get it from this. His first name is the first name of the biggest villain on Young and the Restless. There you go. Larry Costanza? No, it's not the fake name. It's the real name of the actor. Google gave you that name. And Adam Dreyfus is not a name of an NBA player. All right, I'm going to go ahead and just call it because y'all are not figuring this out. That is Victor Alexander. His last name is Alexander, just like Jason Alexander of Seinfeld, George Costanza. And Victor Alexander was a center on the Raptors in the first year from the Golden State Warriors. That's Victor Alexander, guys. Yeah. Sorry about that, y'all. It's all right. It's all right. I could have said he's Wembanyama. There's Sam Perkins on the back. Of course, he's a North Carolina player who played with Michael Jordan in university. They were quite good together with James Worthy also. That UNC team was very, very good under Dean Smith. Sam Perkins is a very, very storied, famous former player. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, he looked like Sam Bowie in that pic. Yeah, he does kind of look like Sam Bowie, but that is Victor Alexander, guys. That is Victor Alexander. I know for a fact that's Victor Alexander. Yeah, there you go. Classic car of the day. 50 points for Isaac Campbell. Sam Perkins. Booyah. Booyakasha. Booyakasha. Yeah. All right, let's see. Where are we in the chat? We got to go back to David's first comment, which was around 9:30 something. No. Alan's saying closing ceremonies will be televised at 3 p.m. on CBC Eastern Time. There you go. There's a programming note from our special Olympics correspondent. Bam, son. All right, let's see. Yeah, Derps is saying, bet they will be interesting, but not for me. Nothing surprises me. So you're saying the closing ceremonies will be interesting, maybe similar to the opening ceremonies. Let's piss off everybody at the beginning and then have a little closing sandwich of pissing off everybody at the end. No, usually the closing ceremonies are pretty subdued. Isn't it usually just people walking out and waving and that's it? Are they going to have a little drag show again? I don't know. Maybe it is France. That's their kind of thing. Cabaret. We'll have to see. I don't know. Cowboy saying everyone slam dunk the like button. I appreciate that, Bradley. Stargate saying Chuck can actually cover college football. He's actually not bad at that. That's another sport that he can cover for TNT too. Yeah, they're going to have other sports involved with Turner Sports. It's just the NBA's turning their back on them. And well, Charles will cover whatever it is. You'll probably see him around March Madness a lot in the years to come. It'll be around March Madness. You're going to get a lot more Charles Barkley around then. That's when you're going to have to get your fix. Look at Allen says Scott Steiner. Okay, Scott Steiner. What are you bringing up Scott Steiner all of a sudden? Former Michigan guy, Scott Steiner. That's pretty cool. I like that. Tom Dookie saying, gotta love Big Chuck. Good morning. Go Raptors. Yeah, you're talking about Scott Steiner because of the WCW stuff. Yeah. Yeah, he did go to WWF though, but no, he didn't. Then he went to WWA and he went to Australia and he was involved in the Wrestling Alliance, World Wrestling Alliance, which was a little small time wrestling company after WCW folded. Yeah. Scott Steiner, huh? Big Papa Pump. Yeah, I got your hookup. How about that? Yeah. Cowboys got all the logos on blast, and David's saying Chuck gets to sit in a chair and talk about sports for $21 million a year. He will be fine. Yeah, he's been getting that kind of money for a while already. Maybe it's a little bit of an uptick, but he's always got the big bucks since a long time ago. Pretty much this whole time he's been doing it. He's been fantastic and deservedly so. All the sports Emmys he's won with inside the NBA, they've won a lot of Emmys, guys. You got to go and look over the years. They win almost every year. They're very much the best sports show in a lot of ways. Derps is saying in the West, yes, but it won't be owned by one guy for sure. What are you talking about? In the West, yes, but it won't be owned by one guy for sure. What are you talking about? I'm not even sure what you're talking about. Alan's saying Big Papa Pump is your hookup. Holla if you hear me. For all your freaks out there. There you go, Alan Tam. This guy's a big Scott Steiner fan. He's a freak. Derps is saying the Wemby I was talking about showed up. Wemby. The West, yes, but it won't be owned by one guy. Okay, so you're saying Wemby won't be the only guy who's kind of the leader of the whole entire NBA in the years to come. I really have doubts about this young man at this point. He's not cut from the same cloth as people like Kobe. He's not cut from the same cloth as people like LeBron. He has a lot of amazing talent because of his frame, but I'm a little worried about him paying off on it. It's not that I don't think that he doesn't want to. It's just that there takes a little bit more in some ways. And I'm wondering about his killer instinct. In some ways, he may be screwed in some ways. And I don't know if Wemby's absolutely going to be the most dominant player in the NBA in the years to come. Sure, there's signs of it, but what if he doesn't really get much better than what he's doing already, guys? Seriously, there's no guarantees on any of this. And people can say, no, he's going to get better and better, Lex. I don't know if that's true. What if his body can't fill out? What if his body is going to be exactly like it is, just like Chris Boucher, into his 30s? Seriously, think about that. Because that is his biggest detriment. He has no strength. And if he cannot be stronger in general and holding position, he may not be as effective in the NBA as everybody speculates. I'm not trying to paint this picture for sure. I'm just saying that this could be possible. And maybe people didn't realize this. Now, are they going to help him and make him into something more than he is just to help the legend and sell more products? Probably. They did just now at the Olympics, so why not? Tom Duke saying nothing wrong with making more money. I mean, yeah. I mean, I have a problem with having an incredible consolidation of things where there's no competition for prices. You know, they consolidate different industries like the meat industry, the bread industry, the cable industry. And what happens is the prices just go up because no competition. Nobody's offering cheaper alternatives. So that there's a price fix is what happens. And there's people getting in trouble for this, like Loblaws. So yeah, no, there is problems with going too crazy with consolidating corporate money and getting it all in one place like Amazon wants to do. So yeah, I mean, I don't know what you're saying exactly, Tom, but I will say this about that. Alan's saying no money, no honey. Okay, bam, son. David's got a bunch of stuff on here. I don't even know what we're talking about exactly here. Cowboys saying Ulrich Shamshay over Wemby any day. You know, this could be true. You know, this may not be a joke and just being cowboy and loving Shamshay so much right now. No, this could be true because Shamshay has the strength more than Wemby has already. And in some ways, if he's able to move around like Wemby, even if he's not as long and tall as him, he may be strong enough, the right combination in the right ways with the strength. that this may be true. I might get behind this more and more as we see Ulrich grow and come along. Yeah, yes, sir. That's right. Dap to David. That's right. Alan Tam, bam. Cowboy saying if we had Edie, we would have won the gold easy. That's you can't say that, Cowboy. That's you can't say that. That's not true. David saying Lex never forgets. Haha. Not saying I want you to come back. Laugh out loud. Yeah, I mean I don't. I really don't. Chris is a nice guy, and I appreciated him coming to our events and hanging around with us and stuff. But he's weird. And in some ways, he had his own agendas on the stream that he wanted to push as far as political ones and also just being chaotic and saying the weirdest shit sometimes. I'm like, Chris, is this really necessary for my stream? Like you talking about some jam sandwich or something. I don't know. You talk about weird shit sometimes. I mean, I don't mind that in some of y'all if it adds to like the whole feeling of the stream, but he was a distraction. Let's just put it that way. Tommy's saying, Lex, yeah, all respect, but laugh out loud. Okay. All right. I don't even know what you're talking about, Tommy. I don't know. You got to clarify. We jump from subject to subject. You got to give me a subject and a predicate every single comment. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, laugh out loud, but beat it. Derps is saying Steph will help still a superstar, obviously. Steph KD could still be playing 4 years. Very doubtful for LeBron. At least I would say so. Yeah, I could see Steph still being around and playing in the next Olympics. Kevin's 50-50. I mean, in some ways, he seems irritated. And he may be like, yeah, I'm getting too old for this shit, Danny Glover. And he might be moving on from then. Now, the thing about the Warriors is the drop off that they've had in recent years. You know, they rose up and won championship in the middle of drop off, which is amazing that they were able to do that. I don't know how the NBA propped them up to do that, but they're really changing now. His Splash Brother's gone. Klay Thompson is a maverick. And Draymond's probably going to leave soon too. So that's the uncertainty of the future of the Warriors. Is Steph Curry just going to be the last guy left with a bunch of youngsters? And Kuminga wants that crazy contract right now. I don't think he's worth it. You know, I don't see any direct path for the Warriors to compete this year, even if they have Steph Curry on their team still, even if he's so amazingly good. They may have a real hard time winning games this year. Let's just put it that way. Stargate saying Edie and Benedict will be added next Olympics, barring injury. Not just them. And we will have this new kid coming out soon, too. A 7 foot skilled footer like Wemby and Chet. Forget his name. Well, Oliver Yu is not as skilled as those guys yet. In some ways, he's scary for his height, but he's 7'9". Let's get this right. He's 7'9". Wemby's 7'4". This guy's 5 inches taller than Wemby. So the thing about Ryu, though, is we don't know how quick he is up and down the court. He may be a lumbering guy who's just not going to make it in the NBA. So the jury's out on him. But he could be very helpful for Canada, even if he doesn't make the NBA. So Oliver Ryu being 7'9" at the University of Florida, he'll be interesting to see how he lines up with the timing of the Olympics. I don't think he'll be involved in the Olympics next time. I think Zach will be for sure. Benedict probably for sure. Andrew Nebhard, yeah. Maybe Leonard Miller and Shaden Sharp, yeah. Who knows? We'll have to see which spots kind of get cycled out with the old and in with the new, with the Team Canada roster by 4 years from now. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see. Yeah, Tom Duke said Oliver Yu. Yeah, that's his name. That's his name. That's right. Tommy's saying he will be one of the many new Canadians in the league. That's not guaranteed, Tom. I'm going to say this right now. I've seen Oliver Yu with my eye test, and I don't know if he's fast enough for the NBA. And there's been big guys like Sim, the guy, the Indian guy from here in Canada. He couldn't make the NBA because he was too slow. So we can't just guarantee Oliver Yu's an NBA player. We have to see how things go and whether he is fast enough and lithe enough to get around. Sometimes these really big guys are not fast enough to keep up with the NBA game, and they're a detriment, and they don't actually make it. So you got to be in that right sweet spot. Like Wemby's so quick because in the height, we got to see if Ryu's got that same kind of quickness to be able to keep up with the NBA game to a level that's acceptable so that he does make it. So we can't say that for sure. Yeah, let's see. Derps is saying, Raps, get him. Well, we'll see. Like, I want to see his career with Florida first and see how good he is. And like I said, he could be really good at getting up and down the court and it'd be fine. But in some of the stuff I saw with him and under a Canadian team playing recently, he wasn't that fast. and I worry about him translating to the NBA. Let's just put it that way. Tommy saying, bummer about our men's team's fate, but we will have a moment soon like our 4 by 100-meter guys who humbled those Mexicans or Americans. Okay, he wrote Americans. It's just so he didn't put the A on there. I don't know. In some ways, I'm really worried about the senior men's team for Canada because it seems like I said, Brian Winders is trying to script write France already up there. And when is Canada going to get a chance to try and compete for a medal in men's basketball? I don't know. They may very well be script writing all the time, and they're trying to hold us out. In some ways, they're trying to hurt us. They're trying to hurt us getting funding. They're trying to hurt us coming up and hold us down. In some ways, there are probably some parallels to what happens with the Raptors in the NBA to Team Canada in the FIBA World Stage. And I hate to say that, but it felt like it this Olympics. It sure did. And I don't know what's going to happen with our team. We need to be very, very good because we got a lot we've got to overcome. And I thought that, just being a badass, talented team would get us far in this Olympics. No, there's all kinds of script writing we have to overcome too. And we don't know what the script is. The script may be what Brian Winders is saying, that he just wants France versus USA again for the 3rd time in a row at the Olympics. So I hope we break through in the next one, but I don't know if that'll happen even then because some people don't want Canada to be a prominent force in men's basketball at a high level. They really don't. You can tell. Cowboys saying alley-oop to Tom Duke. Yeah, we'll give Tom an alley-oop for all of his work he does behind the scenes on this channel. I appreciate you, Tom. Let's see. Where is he here? 117 is what he's got. There we go right there. Let's see. Stargate saying no, not Oliver. There's another one. There are a few big guys. There's another guy that was on the under team that was a center that looked better than Oliver at times. I think his name was Star. It was something like Star. It's not Sar. I don't remember his name exactly, but there is another 7-foot+ guy in the Canada program that in some ways showed more skills than Ryu in the games that I saw. He was playing starting center. Oliver was off the bench. So that's interesting there. Derp saying Steph an actor now, no worries. Steph an actor now, no worries. He's an actor now, so he has no worries. It's like after he's done, he can just go into like being a game show host for like a golf show or something like that. Isn't he like a mini golf game show host? He's like, guys, come in and putt on these wacky mini golf courses. And I'm the host, Steph Curry. Here's your putting green. I know he's done some game shows with him and his wife where they do like cooking shows and different things like that. I don't know. Yeah, I'm sure he's got other things he can do after his career. I'm not worried about Steph Curry, but I'm sure like he wants to play for a few more years too because he's still playing at a high level. Trevor's saying, I think the USA team was exposed and they're not going to be dominating the next Olympics. If it wasn't for LeBron, Steph, and Kevin, they would have lost the gold medal. This is interesting. I mean, I think you're right to a degree because we saw at FIBA World Cup that other team, how they did, and everybody can say, oh, the FIBA World Cup doesn't matter. Well, a lot of people today are saying the FIBA World Cup champion or world champions are still Germany. That you can't say the U.S. is the world champions. They're the Olympic champions. But the FIBA World Cup is actually the place where we crown the world champions of basketball. So there is a lively debate going on today about who are the world champions of the world. Is it the Boston Celtics? Is it the Team USA that just won the Olympic gold yesterday? Or is it the FIBA World Cup champions, the Germany team? I don't know. I'm going to be a hater and say the world champions are still Germany and that the FIBA World Cup is the one that determines. Because in some ways on Twitter, they're saying this. There's a community note that says the Team USA is not the world champions. Germany is still the world champions because the FIBA World Cup champion is considered the world champions. And the winner of the Olympics is considered the Olympic champion. I don't know if you guys knew that discernment. Because in some ways, the FIBA World Cup is a team sport. And in some ways, the Olympics is an individual's sport, even though it's team sports are played there. So it's a very interesting debate. Very, very interesting debate. I agree with you, though, Trevor. When this old guard leaves, will the prestige and the way that they're looked at, will USA still dominate? I don't know. Like we said, these young guys are not cut from the same cloth as the older generations. And this is a transitionary generation of LeBron, Steph, and Kevin coming from the transition from Michael Jordan and Charles Barkley and those guys from before in the 90s that in some ways they're a little bit less than those guys were before with the real competitive, not soft kind of players. Well, the younger players are way more soft. And in some ways, the hardness of FIBA basketball and the Europeans may knock them out, just like they did last summer at FIBA World Cup. So, I mean, I won't disagree with Trevor. Those three guys go off in the sunset. USA will not be as powerful for sure. For sure. David's saying they wouldn't have even been in the gold medal game. Laugh out loud. Derps is saying Jolene, 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 Jolene on the floor and fall and break Danny Green's ankle. Jolene, 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 Timber, the big Cameroonian's falling. You better get out his way. Cowboy said, I hope Cameroon rejects Embiid. Wow, that's a big statement. I don't think they will, though. I think they'd be very glad to have him come back, even though he's done this. They'd be like, yeah, we need the help, Joel. Show up, please. If he does it, I'm serious. You may get me to be more of a fan of yours, Joel. If you actually try and take the Cameroonian basketball program on your back and carry them to the next Olympics, I challenge you, Joel Embiid. Help Cameroon qualify for the Olympics and play for them in LA in 2028. I challenge you, you big dummy. You go and try and do that, and maybe I'll start to like you or respect you a little bit more. Seriously. Yeah. Stargate saying, take out Steph, LeBron, and Durant and replace them with any other three American players. Take your pick, and they do not win the gold. Wow, Stargate bringing that in there. So he's very much echoing what Trevor just said. This will be very interesting to see the transition of power with the USA team over the years with these guys going off in the sunset. Yeah, we'll have to see what happens. It's too early to talk about it because we don't know for sure. And Kevin may still show up. And so may Steph Curry. I don't think LeBron will, though. Cowboys saying Chef Darko is the man. The coaches think we went to was fire. He's a diamond for the Raptors again. Masai's magic pick. Okay. All right, Cowboy. I like what you're saying there. Let's see. Mike is here. Good to see Logical Raptors fanatic. Project Truth always, Mike. Good to see you. The Pop-Tart with the ketchup. Laugh out loud. The Pop-Tart with the ketchup. I'm not even sure where that's from. It sounds weird to me. Stargate saying Tom Duke, as predicted, the Americans screwed up another 4x10, 4x100 relay again. This is like the fifth straight one. See, Stargate is obviously a track and field expert and loves that part of the Olympics, and he knows the history here. I love that. Dak Canadian's here. Have we heard any Coloco updates? Not in the last day or so. But I will say this, Dak Canadian, if you want the absolute update on Coloco, it's this. They're still deliberating. The fitness to play panel is deliberating his health records. They're taking more tests. They're seeing if there's progress with his issue. And if it's clearing up better and better, they probably will clear him. And I'm going to speculate that they'll make a decision on Christian Coloco in the next 2 weeks, that it will happen before the end of August. The NBA will declare whether he will be fit to play or not. And we'll find out soon. In some ways, we thought it was just go in front of them. They'll make a decision and we'll find out. No, they're actually doing their own investigation on his health themselves, taking their own tests and diagnostics of his blood issue and to make sure fully that they're okay with letting him come back. So they have not judged on this yet, but we expect a ruling on this in the next 2 weeks. So how about that? There you go, Dak Canadian. That's all I can tell you right now. Andrew saying, morning, everyone. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday to you, Raptor Freak Andrew. Always good to see you in the chat, my guy. Derps is saying all three picks, first names start with a J. Yeah, Jacoby, Jonathan, Jamal, and Ulrich doesn't, but whatever. And then there's Brandon Carlson, too. Yeah, we got to remember our guy who was undrafted, who is a two-way and will be playing for both squads this year. Carlson is a shot-blocking, three-point shooting center. And a lot of people are overlooking his addition to the Raptors and what could be possible with him also. Stargate saying, I went to Jamaica on vacation last year in May, stayed at the Bahia Principe, had a nice time. Sounds like everybody goes to Jamaica is having a good time. Cowboy don't want to leave. Trevor J's got a hotel recommendation. So does Stargate. I need to go there maybe someday. That's right. Yeah. Alan's saying USA versus France women's basketball is on right now. They are started playing at 9:30, so it's about halfway through the game right now, maybe a little past halftime right now. Derps is saying Shamshe being on a two-way, but obviously the steal of steals, and if Embiid and Koloko play for Cameroon with Siakam, Embiid, and Koloko, he's Missy, New Orleans pick, and a Raptors pick at 47. Yeah, they could have a good team, but they all need to show up. Pascal is wanted to. He was going to be there this summer, but he backed out at the last moment. He was supposed to play for them in the qualifiers, but he didn't in the end. But if they can get Siakam, Embiid, Shamshe, Koloko, and Missy, that's a very good, like, a lot of big guys. In some ways, Pascal might have to play shooting guard because it's all a big bunch of bigs. In some ways, they got the opposite of what Canada's got right now. They got all good bigs, and we need some good bigs coming up. Come on, Zach Edey. That's right, Space Invaders. Okay, then. I like the Space Invaders, Derps. I'm going to give you a dunk for putting Space Invaders in the chat. That's pretty cool. All right, you're at the Scotty Barnes 4, my guy. You got the 4 dunks now. Beautiful. Dak Canadian saying, I kind of wonder how much Team USA makes as a whole if you added up all their contracts. You mean from the NBA? Yeah, I mean, they are probably the highest paid team at the Olympics as far as how much they all made, for sure. For sure. Those NBA contracts are crazy. The money in sports is nuts at this point. Everybody's wondering, how the hell can we pay Scotty and Emmanuel all this money? The money is amazing in sports right now. It's insane. Trevor's saying France playing very physical with the U.S. team. Gold medal match, halftime score 25-25. That's a low-scoring game for halftime score. And, yeah, that sounds like a physical game if it's going to be that low-scoring. That's right. I'm pretty sure Aja Wilson and them will win. I'm pretty sure. Kareem saying Jeff Bozo is a bitch. Just a matter of time he takes over the grocery industry and puts millions out of work, all because of his love for currency. No, the guy's messed up. I mean, he is straight out of a comic book. He might as well be like Lex Luthor. He very much looks like him in some ways. And in some ways, he's just a megalomaniac kind of idiot like him, millionaire kind of playboy kind of idiot like Lex Luthor, the character from DC Comics. It's scary. It's very scary. I'm telling y'all, if it isn't the fascism of the right wing and what they're trying to do with Project 2025, it's the corporate overlords that are trying to take more and more craziness in how they over everything on everything, where you're going to have to, if you just want to do something, you're going to have to pay Jeff Bezos just to breathe or just to have a cup of water. Like, when is when too much? In some ways, we need to fight as humanity to fight for basic human rights, which is shelter, food, and water. And everybody should have that in this world. We're rich enough for that. And the fact that people starve and die every day because they don't have those basic needs is a failure of civilization. That if we're so great and we're so badass at this point with all our technology and advancements, why are people still dying in crazy ways when we could take care of everyone? It's because people are greedy as fuck, is what it is. It's right there. It's what it is. These resources and ability to this, there shouldn't be corporations owning housing. The housing should be in a whole other level of way we deal with it. People should not be doing this kind of shit. There should be very much a housing industry that's affordable for young couples to buy starter houses and start young families. If, business models really want to be smart, they should be starting to help the people reproduce, because you ain't going to have no people to buy your products if nobody's having babies because they can't afford to. So, I mean, y'all are short-sighted. You want that short-term profit right now? Well, nobody can afford to have children anymore. Sorry, you're not going to have any customers later because we didn't have any kids. So is there going to be some of that kind of shit going on? There's a lot of people that are deciding not to have children because they financially can't. And then they tell people, like, why aren't you having kids and stuff? Like, because I would be broke if I tried to have kids. So, this is the thing that these people don't realize. They're so short-sighted, and they're only worrying about the shareholders and profit margins and numbers on a page when they're not thinking about real-world humanistic implications. That's what's going to destroy our civilization and really fuck up the whole entire world, is that's what they care about, is the ink and the money, and they don't care about real-world solutions for human beings and what they need. That's right. That's it right there. Boom goes the dynamite. All right, let's keep going. Dak Canadian is saying Charles' commentary might actually make me watch golf. Yeah, it may be weird. Like I know he loves golf himself, and Michael said he's not good. In some ways, it's like, how can he commentate on golf when he's so bad at it? That's what you're gonna be saying. Andrew's saying, I love Chuck. He always says it how it is. You know, like I said, there's people that are heroes of mine, idols of mine that I look up to, and I take a lot of inspiration from. Charles Barkley's on that list. Jim Cornette is on that list. Very outspoken men that aren't afraid to say how they feel and it may not be popular sometimes. Well, you can put me in that category with them. Yeah, Derps is saying USA WNBA better win it all, or it will be hilarious. Yeah, there is some pressure on the women because in some ways they may not get the same kind of help as the men's team in some ways. I mean, there is probably a lot of pressure on that group right now, playing right now against France. In some ways, they may be wanting France to win this one in a script writing. Who knows? In some ways, they may really want this because it make the feel good right at the end of the Olympic Games. France beats USA in basketball and women's. That's a script right there, isn't it? Yeah. We'll have if anybody's watching the game closely, we'll watch for that kind of stuff. We'll have to see. Yeah. Mike's saying, not gonna lie, meh. Inside the NBA wasn't really about basketball. It was more a stand-up comedy show style. I'm not going to disagree with you, Mike. And sure, there were a lot of extra shit. I didn't totally enjoy Shaquille O'Neal bullying Charles Barkley all the time. It made me really kind of be like, yeah, Shaq, you're an asshole, man. In some ways, you're like overly mean to him. And we all get it. Charles has no rings. Y'all play that on him all the time, you and Kenny. But you know what? Charles, in some ways, well, definitely with Kenny, but Charles in some ways is a more popular, more loved person than you, Shaq. I'm sorry. That's just the damn truth. And in some ways, I get what you're saying, but it's morphed and evolved over the years. And in some ways, the banter, the realness of it is why it won so many awards. And sometimes it wasn't always about basketball. You're right. It was stand-up. You're right, Mike. You're right on that. Yeah. All right, there's the classic card stuff. And you guys were saying he looks like it's from the 60s or early 70s. Yeah, this is around, I guess this is right around 1990, I would guess, this card. This card's right around 1990. What does it say there? It says 93, 92, 93. So this is like 93, 93. Yeah, there we go. Stargate saying, yep, the hammer, both men and women, the 4x100 relay was awesome, and Marco winning the silver. The men's 800 meter was nice to see as well. And a big up to the Wizard and breakdancing as well. I looked a little bit more at this breakdancing thing that happened with Phil the Wizard. He apparently stole the finishing move of the guy from Japan, and that's what kind of won him it. Some people were saying the breakdancing was a fail, that it didn't look right and it didn't come off right. I mean, it's a weird environment to try and do something like that. In some ways, that kind of dancing is on energy and feel and like the setting. And in an Olympic setting, it may not seem right because it's so like official. Does that make sense? So yeah, interesting seeing the breakdancing. And I'll say this, I'm proud of Canada for being the first ever gold medal winners in men's breakdancing. That's pretty damn cool, honestly. Now, if they decide they're never going to do it again, well, is Canada just the gold medal Olympic champions of breakdancing forever? Maybe, because they may not bring it back, y'all. Seriously. They try different sports and then be like, breakdancing. Yeah, it was a good idea. But honestly, it didn't kind of really work when we did it. So who knows? Maybe Phil the Wiz is going to be a one and done champion. Who knows? Who knows? I'm proud of that. And he added to that medal count. Canada winning the most medals since the Olympics that were the one where the boycott Olympics way back in the 80s. Yeah. There you go. There you go. Sam Perkins, y'all. Perkins, like the restaurant Perkins. Let's see. All right. Let me see. All right. We're finished. We're getting to just past the Can't Stand Ya, Larry Costanza. Let's see. Yeah. Kareem saying, I don't know why I had a brain fart. It's all good, my guy. We can't all be perfect every time. And I'm sorry if I said something mean to you in that whole thing. I was just like, his name used to be full ass, and he can't half ass me now by just putting in the last name. Oh, you just couldn't remember the first name that time. It's all good. Hey, Omari's here. Wagwan freaks. Good to see you, Omari Parsons. Y'all, if you need to rent or buy a house mortgage-wise, if you're able to buy a house, call Omari Parsons. He can help you out. He's over on the west side of the GTA, and he has the ability to set you up with a place. So look him up on the internet. He is there. Realtor Omari Parsons. Definitely give him a call if you need some help in that area. Wagwan, man. Yeah, there you go. Aha. Let's see. Logical saying Alex missed the other Raptors player on the back of the card, Akeem. Yeah, on this card, yeah, we in some ways it's half. Yeah, that is Akeem Olajuwon, but we don't really need to do that. I mean, I already gave some bonus points, but nobody got them for Victor Alexander. Yeah, Victor Alexander. Yeah. All right, let's see. Smooth's here. Good to see Smooth. There's a report circulating that the Raptors have interest in D'Angelo Russell. In what world does that make sense? Are you like repeating things or something? Did you say this yesterday on the stream? Who brought this up yesterday? Did the exact same thing? Did you forget you did this already, Smooth? We've already talked about this. We already talked about this. D'Angelo Russell's girlfriend lives in Toronto. He's been visiting in Toronto to see her. He tweeted that he wanted to play in a pickup game. Raptors fans took it way too far and said, oh, he wants to be on Toronto. No, that's not what's going on. That whatever these rumors, and whoever brought it up yesterday, if it was you, I don't know if you did it. Somebody said this exact same comment yesterday, Smooth. And I've already gone over this. There's no rumors to this. This is bullshit. The Raptors Nation's making up and just putting out there. We have no interest in D'Angelo Russell. There may be some casual idiots in Raptors Nation that love it and want that. They may be partly Laker fans, and that's why they want it. But he's only in town because his girlfriend lives here. It has nothing to do with anything to do with the Raptors. He likes it. Jimmy Butler was at track and field last summer. Does that mean he's going to be on the Raptors? Raptors fans? No. Toronto's a nice city in the summer, and people want to be here. That's all it is. That's all it is. Yeah. There's more chatter about it than usual. Well, it's just idiots who have nothing to do this summer. In some ways, I don't do trade speculation. I have not heard anything from any official sources. This is the same exact damn thing I said yesterday. Josh Lewenberg say anything about D'Angelo Russell? No. Michael Grange said anything about D'Angelo Russell? No. Blake Murphy, Savannah Hamilton, any of them say anything with D'Angelo Russell? No. So it's just bullshit made up by Raptors fans somewhere around, and they just start pushing this shit around. So no, there's no truth to this. There is not. If there is, and all of a sudden he's on our team, I'll be disappointed because I don't want him on our team. I've said this so many times. No D'Angelo Russell. He's an inefficient player that takes a lot of volume for shots, and he doesn't make them. And I don't want him taking the shots. This is exactly what I said yesterday. You got me doing reruns right now. In some ways, I said all this yesterday. We don't want him coming into our team, taking shots away from Jacoby Walter and Grady Dick. So fuck off, D'Angelo Russell heads that want him on our team. We do not want D'Angelo Russell. And stop bringing this rumor in here, y'all. I've debunked it yesterday. Y'all keep bringing this in here. I'm sick of it. Cowboys saying alley-oop Smooth. And now, no to D'Angelo. Why would we want D'Angelo Russell? When has he ever won? Seriously, as a player. Seriously. Derps is saying Wemby is kind of a hybrid of Embiid in his feels and Porzingis, but can stay healthier than both. I think he will stay healthier. He's limber. He does yoga. But I'm really worried that his frame will not put muscle on it. And that will be the biggest thing that holds Victor back from fully realizing what the NBA wants him to be. Seriously, yeah. Dana's saying, G's saying that Curry cooked. Wemby looked better this game, but hesitates a lot. He needs some weight. I think Wemby's passing will end up being his best asset. That's interesting. I think it's obvious his best asset is his long-ass arms and how much he's a shit disturber for other teams' offense. I mean, that's the one I think is the most impressive because he really is a huge change in the league. That's what happened in his rookie year. People came up at him and they tried to go over him like they would a normal 7-footer. And he had that extra length and extension. He surprised them. He's like, oh, shit, actually, he can get to that. So I think that's going to be always his number one best asset. But if he has a pretty good passing, that's good. Now, it's come out recently that Shamshay is an excellent passer. They're talking more and more about Ulrich Shamshay being like that's his best skill that nobody's talking about, that he is absolutely a fantastic passer. So all of a sudden, we're going to have Scotty, Jonathan Mobo, and Ulrich Shamshe run around, and these guys are super talented all-around players, but they want to pass to other people first. That sounds like a good recipe with Coach Darko in charge. That's what that sounds like right there. Yeah, so it'll be interesting. His length is the best asset to me, but the passing may be in the top 3. We'll have to see, G. Dana's saying that media overhyped Wemby. I never liked him, just like they overhyped Cade Cunningham and Scoot Henderson and Zion Williamson. Yeah, they've overhyped so many different people at different times, and they just don't deliver on the goods. In some ways, yeah, I think you're right, Dana. They really like conditioned us for a year that Wembanyama. And in some ways, the first year Wembanyama was a disappointment. And in some ways, I'm starting to doubt whether he's ever going to get fully realized to where everybody's saying it. I'm a Spurs fan, and I want that for him. But in some ways, I'm trying to be realistic, and I'm looking at some of the things with him, and I'm like, you know what? Y'all keep saying, oh, this is going to be different. Even Wemby, he said afterwards, he said, yeah, next time it's not going to be the same. What are you talking about, the NBA or FIBA? He's saying both. I'm like, prove it. We'll have to see it before we believe it. And when you do it for the Spurs, I'll be very happy. Trust me. But in some ways, I have more doubts about Wembanyama after these Olympics than I did before them. I really do. I really do. Mike's saying, I saw a mock trade where they get Kelly, Olynyk, and Bruce in a 3-team trade with the Nets, and we get Rui Hashimura, Jalen Hood, 2029 Lakers first, and another guy they were trying to push out. Lakers fans are desperate. Yeah, I don't care about what they want. Lakers fans are idiots. And maybe that's why we're hearing a lot of D'Angelo Russell trades, because they don't want him there, and they're trying to make all kinds of trade rumors with Toronto. So seriously, let's just forget about the Lakers and D'Angelo Russell. They didn't have much very good of offseason. Failure. They tried to hire a coach. He rejected them. So they hired a podcaster. They went and got their number one best pick for this is Dalton, but they're going to talk about Bronny way more. So it's like the Lakers didn't have a good offseason. In some ways, Laker fans understand that, and they're scrambling to try and make some sort of crazy-ass shit happen in a deal. That's what it all sounds like to me. It's normal, toxic Laker fan fiction bullshit is what it sounds like to me. G's saying Grady and Scotty are in Spain. So Scotty's there too. He's posted something, of course. That's where the Raptors are having a training camp, post-Olympic training camp. And I'm sure RJ and Kelly Olynyk are there also. Not too far to go if they're coming from the Olympics today to get to Spain. Yeah, if they're going to walk in the closing ceremonies with Team Canada, I'm sure they'll just hop the border and be in Malaga, Spain right afterwards to join their Raptor teammates in the training camp that Darko's doing there. It's cool because Darko's very familiar with Spain, having worked there professionally as a coach in his coaching career. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. Drips is saying, absolutely, Wemby needs a few pounds, but got to stay healthy or pointless. No idea what Edie is, so still so I wouldn't put money on him yet. You know, the thing with Edie is he's got to just make sure he's up to speed with the league. That's a similar thing that I worry about for Ryu is can these guys keep up with the league? That was one of the biggest knocks on Zach Edey going into the draft. Is he going to be able to keep up with the NBA's fast pace? And that's what I worry about with him. So, yeah, Wemby does need more weight. Will he ever get it? Will he be like Chris Boucher and just have a crazy high digestion where he can't keep any weight on him? It's just like, oh, it goes right through me. I can eat like a horse. I went to Mandarin. I sat in there for 5 hours and ate crab claws, and I still didn't gain any weight. Eat more biscuits. All right, so he's saying, I know that D'Angelo has Oakville ties, and he's here every summer, but there's no roster fit. He's a point guard. Toronto has 3 of those. Shooting guard is full as well. I don't even consider him a point guard. That man's not a point guard. He's a shooting guard, and maybe even an undersized one. Man, I've never been a fan of D'Angelo Russell. It doesn't matter what team he's on. I see the same player, an inefficient player that I don't want on my team because he's a losing player. I'm not saying he's a loser. I'm just saying he's a losing player. You put him in the formula, he's going to add up to more losing because he's just not that kind of player. Seriously, he's a big reason why the teams he's been on have sucked is because he has to have the ball so much and he just doesn't score correctly. Sure, he'll have a crazy hot game every once in a while, but most of the games he plays, he's like 5 for 24 from the field. Who wants that on their team? Seriously, 5 for 24 on a regular. Oh no, that's no good. That's no good. We don't want that. He's a shooting guard. And maybe he's a point guard's height. Derps is saying, will Kerr even play Kuminga enough to know if he's worth a rookie max? He played him a lot last year, and he was an important, essential part of the Warriors in what they were trying to do last year. He grew a lot last year. He actually did get better. But I think that it's funny that he had one decent year, and now all of a sudden he's demanding over $200 million in his extension. That's the thing that's funny to me, because in some ways Kuminga has not shown a consistency over a long period of time, is what I would say. Yeah, Cowboys saying it ain't happening. He doesn't fit our Raptors culture. Yeah, he's not on the right timeline as far as his age. He's going to take away from youngsters where we want them to grow. In some ways, he's like a downgrade from Gary Trent Jr., y'all. Like, I see them as the same position, Gary and D'Angelo. And if you get D'Angelo Russell, that's a downgrade from Gary Trent Jr. I'm telling you right now, that's a downgrade. This is a downgrade. That's right. Yeah. Mike's saying, Smooth, the Nets apparently want D'Angelo Russell. So there could be a 3-team trade there, but I don't see Kelly in that, though. You know, I would have said don't trade Kelly up until recently. I like having Canadians on our team, and Kelly's awesome, and I love the homecoming. I love that he's gotten his dream to play for the Raptors. But because we drafted so many bigs, in some ways, Kelly's not as necessary to be around in some ways, because we do have so many more 5s and 4s right now. I don't know. I want to honor Kelly and let him stay with the Raptors for the rest of his career, because that's what he said he wants. Now, if Masai is going to turn around and trade Kelly from behind his back after Kelly basically said, I will stay with you guys for the rest of my career until I'm done and really help you guys as much as I can on a lower contract in different ways, you know, that's kind of stabbing Kelly Olynyk in the back. So I don't know. As much as Kelly Olynyk could be a trade piece, and people are already putting him in trade speculation, he's already said he wants to finish career with the Raptors, and Masai and him just did a new contract extension. So I don't think that that's in the cards, y'all. Seriously, I think these are just Raptor fans that are bored in the middle of summer, and they're just got their trade machine out doing some bullshit is what it is to me. Yeah. Derps is saying Lakers probably betting on getting DeRozan in a trade, since I doubt DeRozan works out in Sacramento, but too early to tell, of course. That's an interesting comment, Derps. I don't think he'll work out in Sacramento either. And it's not because I don't love DeMar. I just feel like it's a weird fit for him, that particular roster. It's so weird. He can't get what he wants. In some ways, he should be playing with LeBron and the Lakers. I fully believe that. I was hoping that would have happened when Russell went there instead. I was hoping it would happen this summer, but instead he went to the Kings. So I have no idea. I don't think that the Pelinka and the Lakers management are good enough to try and make a trade to get him there, because they're idiots. They're obviously failing left and right. Their front office is really bad in LA. It has been bad since LeBron's been there, and it's just been horrible. They've made horrible decisions left and right all this time, whether it's getting rid of Montrezl Harrell, doing this or that. They've fumbled so many different ways in Lakers Nation as a front office over the last couple of years, even though they got a Mickey Mouse championship and a dumbass in-season tournament championship last year, or in-season tournament cup. I won't even call it a championship. So yeah, Lakers are mismanaged. I wouldn't say that they're smart enough to figure out a trade to get DeMar, or even will do it. Seriously. Smooth saying Sim Bhullar. That's right. Is he still playing? I don't think so. He may be playing somewhere overseas, but I have no idea where he is. Mike's saying the Laker fans want Cam Johnson from the Nets and Brown from us. They want Bruce Brown from us. You know what? Trade us Rui Hachimura straight up. We'll do that. All right. You don't like that? Okay, then we're not doing a deal. So fuck off. Smooth saying, and what do we get? That's what I was saying. It's Rui Hachimura. That's what I want. Yeah. David's saying nothing. It's just a donation. Laugh out loud. Yeah, we're not doing that. Mike's saying, I like Rui, Jalen Hood in 2 seconds maybe, but I don't know if Masai does that. Honestly, I sounds like Bobby's done. When Bobby had his last kind of press conference, he said, yeah, I think we've got a roster set at this point for the most part. I think that there's an open roster spot because of Vinshenkov leaving, and that's Koloko's if he wants it. And that it's not really like they're trying to look around. Now, if they don't get Koloko, it could be that Bruno Fernando is converted into a guaranteed contract, and he is that spot at that point. So the insurance is Bruno Fernando, and the optimal choice is Coloco returns to the Raptors. So we'll see. They got to figure out what happens with the Right to Fitness Play committee, and when they decide, Coloco decides what he's going to do after that. Then we'll probably have people at it after that, whether it's Coloco himself or other names that are just kind of floating around in limbo that may want to try and make the Raptors this season. It could very well be that people we bring in are non-guaranteed also, and that we guarantee somebody like Bruno Fernando at the end of the training camp. That's what I'll say right there. Yeah, let's see. All right, you just took a comment back, Terps. This is all good. Smooth saying, the last I remember of Bular, he was with the 905 like 6 years ago. Yeah, long time ago. He got tested out on the 905. He was too slow, and there was no freaking way he was going to make the NBA. There was no freaking way he was. Derps is saying, if Boston Celtics move Tatum for a real superstar, I'll just hand them the basketball world champions by default. I really want this idea that we talked about recently where we take the NBA champions and we play them against EuroLeague champions in a small 4-team tournament in Europe in the preseason, like in August or in September, early enough so that it doesn't really screw up the preseason warm-up. It could be right before, like the Abu Dhabi games or something like that. I think that would be smart because then we could have the real moniker. Now, if Adam Silver is serious about wanting to be in partnership with FIBA more, this could be the way to do it, is to take the NBA champion each year. They go over to Europe and they play in a 4-team tournament against the very top teams in those areas. Who knows? Maybe they get a team from Asia and say, this is the Asian champion. This is the Europe champion. This is the America's champion. And who knows? Maybe they actually invite the Africa champion too. And boom, you have 4 teams from those 4 regions, the 4 regions of Basketball Without Borders, and you have a real world championship tournament. And then you can say which club, because those will be clubs, they won't be nations, are the world champions in that way. That's what I really feel like they need to do if they really want to have the moniker world champions for the NBA champion. Yeah. Smooth saying, at Logical, I like a Rui, a big wing. Raptors need that. Rui Hachimura may be a little bit adding what we already got in some ways. I don't know. I think he's a skilled player. He's been fantastic for Japan in these Olympics. And I'd love to see him in a Raptors jersey. I'm not against seeing him in the Raptors jersey. I'll tell you yes or no. Rui, yes. D'Angelo, no. Alan's got the Canadian flag on blast. I love to see the pride of Alan Tam. Bam, son. That's right. Smooth saying he accelerates the rebuild, Rui Hachimura. He accelerates the rebuild. Well, he is more in the younger bracket with the younger guys. So in some ways, he would fit in. Mike's saying we could work something out 3-team wise, I believe, but D'Lo to Toronto isn't realistic. Yeah, thank God. Thank God. I don't think Bobby and Masai are that dumb. Seriously, I don't think they're that dumb. And honestly, I don't care about helping teams facilitate deals by being a 3rd team just to help them. So let's not even talk to the Lakers or the Nets. We don't care. They can deal with each other straight up. And we don't need to be involved. I mean, Bobby did say straight up he's ready for Bruce Brown to play for the Raptors this season. So don't get all in a tizzy about trading Bruce Brown over and over again. Bobby said he's ready for Bruce to play this year and be in the Raptors jersey for us. So that's the GM saying that. He's the one who would trade him. That's what he said in his last interview. Yeah, I'm getting ready for Bruce Brown to be on our team this season, guys. That means there's not been good offers and that he doesn't like anything that people have been offering for Bruce Brown. So we'll have to let him be healthy this season, come back and his knee's better. Maybe he plays really well, and all of a sudden he's extremely attractive to a championship contender, wanting to add a role player piece to help them get him off over the top. And that may be how we deal with Bruce this year. It may be half the year Bruce is a Raptor, and then he gets traded halfway through the season. I could see that being very realistic right there. Yeah. Let's see. Andrew saying Joel and Pascal with Coloco and Shamshe would be entertaining. It'd be a weird team. And in some ways, they'd be getting passing from their bigs because some of the best passers are people like Shamshe and Siakam, which would be interesting. Derps is saying, trying to think of 3 Americans with heart, but I end up with only Scotty. That's a real Raptor freak right there. You know what? You're on 4. I'm going to give you 5 now. You're at 5 now. You got the Emmanuel quickly, Derps. That's an awesome statement. Derps getting some dunks today. That's right. Andrew's saying, I'd say Maxey has heart. He'd be interesting on the Olympic team. Yeah, I would say this too. I'd agree with Andrew on this one. Let's see. Maybe with Scotty, Paulo, and Chet or Maxey. Yeah, I don't know. In some ways, I don't want a team build for USA. Grant Hill will figure that all out over the next couple of years. And, there's a lot of stuff that has to happen in the next 4 years as far as different people retiring, as far as under tournaments and qualifying. And, well, they're going to try and send a team to FIBA once again for the World Cup in 2027. And they will see how that does. And I'm sure they'll figure out who they want. And, people like Devin Booker, Tyrese Halliburton, those guys were on this team. And Anthony Edwards, they're probably going to be on the team in 2028 for sure, for carryover and consistency. And maybe Maxey and Scotty are there with them. So we'll have to see. Mike saying the love guru and the only thing I've learned in that movie, Justin Timberlake talks about a Quebec pizza and says it's the Pop-Tart with the ketchup. Oh, dumb movie. Okay, that's why you said the Pop-Tart with the ketchup. Okay, I get it. I saw that movie once, and then I never wanted to see it ever again, and I've forgotten it. I've effectively blocked that movie out of my head because it was so bad. In fact, that movie kind of ruined Mike Myers' career, guys. Think about it. How many movies did Mike Myers make after his pet project, The Love Guru, which was very racist movie, seriously, very racist. And not only that, it was a Toronto Maple Leafs movie, which is so weird. In some ways, I should be like, yeah, it's a Leafs movie, but it sucked and it was horrible. And the Maple Leafs were all over that movie. It's really weird. It's Mike Myers' pet project, a vanity project. Let's put it that way. And it was horrible. It happened to Dana Carvey also. Dana Carvey did Master of Disguise, where he was some weird, spy that put on all kinds of crazy semi-racist costumes. Yeah, this just seems to happen to these guys, these comedians, Wayne and Garth, Wayne's World. Yeah, they do their Pet Project movie, and it's borderline racist and sucks. Yeah, Dana Carvey, Mike Myers. Alan's saying CNE is opening soon on August the 16th. Opening day is $13. Monday to Thursday after 5 p.m. $13 to go to the CNE down in the exhibition grounds. They're setting it up, getting it ready. It's a sad time of the season because it's really signifying that summer is going to be over soon when the CNE starts getting set up. Yikes. Yeah, I don't always look forward to those days when the CNE comes because I know it's going to start getting cold again. Derps is saying Raptors are not a bit over $11 million to give Coloco if Raps release Fernando using most of the MLE. No idea why Raps don't have his rights. It's a weird thing. They should, Derps, especially because of Holmgren. Is it because he's a second-round pick? Is it because there was some sort of weird BS clause? Is there some sort of way the NBA found a way to screw us out of one of our great assets? Christian Coloco, a young center from Cameroon, that's a shot-blocking phenom. I don't get it. I don't understand how. And Masai was pissed when this happened because in some ways, what did he do to lose the rights to Coloco? Nothing. And in some ways, he felt like he was cheated. I could tell. There was a period of time where Masai and Bobby were pissed because of the rulings the NBA made about Coloco. And in some ways, I don't trust Rich Paul, that he some way or something, or Adam Silver is just trying to hurt the Raptors in an indirect way. I've said this before, a rookie year of Coloco, he should have been in the top leaders in blocks if he had played enough games and they had counted his blocks correctly. In some ways, they're trying to hide the greatness that he could be on the shot blocking by not counting the blocks and calling fouls on him when they were clean blocks. That happened in Coloco's rookie year. And, well, he's going to be a problem for the league. Well, we don't want the Raptors to have him. Oh, he's got a medical condition all of a sudden. Well, you know what, Raptors? You don't have rights to him anymore. Wait, what are you talking about? Masai said. What do you mean we don't have the rights to him anymore? We drafted him in the second round. Why do we not have the rights to him? I'm sorry. It's just that he's not cleared to play in the NBA at this point, and he is not belonging to any team is his status. So they said that he's not affiliated with any team because they legally can't have him affiliated with the NBA because of his medical condition. So he's just in limbo. He's just floating out there. And in some ways, he's not legally ours at this point. But Masai and Bobby are going to fight to make sure he still circles back and comes back here. And Coloco's camp has said, yeah, we're very much talking to the Raptors still. He was seen at Summer League with the Raptors.
standing around talking to Masai and our coaches. So there are signs that it does look like he has a good shot to come back to us. But that's the crazy thing. I don't understand we lost his rights either. Some convoluted shit that Adam Silver and the NBA said on this whole thing. Now, you're right. We do have that amount money, Derps, like 11 million or something, and the MLE still. So there is still some flexibility to add talent to our roster near a training camp to get some guys in to compete to either make the team or just straight up sign that one of them to a guaranteed contract. I still think that if Bruno Fernando does a really good job, he's got the inside track because Darko's already thumbs up on him. And Masai's really proud of him for coming to Basketball Without Borders and showing up and being there. And in some ways, Bruno Fernando's a fantastic player I'd love to have on our team. If Coloco's not going to come back, we need Fernando. So I think he's like he's insurance in some ways. He's insurance. Trevor's saying that this gold medal game is close. Third quarter, 45-43 going in the fourth. All right. Very close game between France and USA in women's basketball final gold medal game. Mike is saying the Canadian Liberals lifted the restrictions from international moguls buying property as just investments. Empty houses all over the GTA while Justin's campaign fund is full. You sure it was just them? I mean, listen, you can blame a party, but let's just blame the government. I mean, the PC, that sounds like something that they pushed for, and they probably spearheaded, and they probably got to happen. Are you sure this is even a government national level? Is this not a provincial thing that was decided by Doug Ford in our country? I'm not going to say that this is true because I don't know if this is true. And you can mudsling at Justin Trudeau right now if you want, but I stood on a very firm place yesterday saying I'm not having it. A lot of misinformation is put out about Justin Trudeau that's just not fair. So I'm not mudslinging at Trudeau. I'm not mudslinging at Biden or Harris. And I don't know if this is true, Mike. And in some ways, I don't appreciate you coming in with a political slant that in some ways I'm not ready to say this is true because I don't think this is true. In some ways, if people are opening up things for markets and people overseas, it's the progressive conservatives. Whether it's the betting in Ontario, whether it's corporations buying up property here, that sounds more like a PC thing to me. I don't know. In some ways, Mike, please don't bring in politics today, please. How about that? I know I've already been talking about some of it, but the less, the better. And especially, like, seriously, don't mudsling at Justin Trudeau on this channel. I'm going to get really pissed because there's enough mudslinging at him in other areas. And this is a no mudslinging at Justin Trudeau zone. How about that? All right. Mike's saying W stream, W vibes. Keep at it always, Lex. Good times approaching. Good times are almost here. I hope they're almost here. I hope there are more and more coming for sure. Go Raptors for life. Raptor Freak Crew strong forever. Thank you, Mo. I appreciate your cutoff. Always a strong stalwart MVP for our Raptor Freak family, Monique Lawrence. We love you so much. Yeah. Derps is saying if he is healthy, hang on. And y'all, let's respect her cutoff because I am at 8 minutes when I have to be done. If he is healthy, then first year Coloco, 11 million, then 6 million, and third year, 7 million. 3 years, 24 to 25 million. First 2 years guaranteed. Yeah, I don't know the money. Well, let's do it all in its right order. We're going to have to see if he gets cleared first, and then we're going to have to see if he decides to come here. And in some ways, I don't trust Rich Paul. Mike's saying Coloco was going to make like 3 million this year on his old contract. He's not close to 10 million in real NBA production. Yeah, in some ways that's true. And in some ways it'd be nice if we could just honor his old contract and have him come back on that one since it's what he was supposed to be getting. But in some ways we had to clear the books of him. That may be why we don't have rights to him, is because we technically didn't have to pay him last year. I don't know if that's true though. Mike could look at the ledger and see if Coloco's on there if we did pay him last year, even though. That would be screwed up. If we paid Coloco last year's contract, even though he's not healthy and he didn't play, and then we lost the rights to him, that doesn't make any sense to me right there. Derps is saying, yeah, it's an overpay, but Raps don't have his rights, so it's what it is. Now, is that what Rich Paul's trying to do? Get a bidding war on Coloco all of a sudden? Well, in some ways, the lateness of the decision by the Right to Play fitness panel could help us because a lot of people are spending all their money right now. And there's not a lot of free agency money left out there for most of the 30 teams. And Masai and Bobby waiting. This may be very well this. I don't think that this whole batch of money that's left in the salary cap for the Raptors is for this. I think that they may have some other people involved in mind. It could very well be there's another very good player that they're going to sign before training camp that has not been signed somehow, some way, that's still out there. I don't know who's still on the list, though, as far as who's not already been snatched up. I mean, Malachi has gotten a non-guaranteed with the Spurs at this point. It's crazy. David saying D-Lo emoji up in here? No, hell no. What are you talking about, David? What are you talking about? Derps is saying third year team option, 10 plus million. So 3 years, 30 million Coloco Loco. Well, it's not smart to do this because we don't know fully what his health condition is and whether it can reappear or get worse again. So we can't invest that kind of money into him yet. In some ways, that the NBA is like, well, we're negating your contract with him because he can't play in the league. Well, okay, then there's no risk. But that's the thing. That's the thing we got to think about. Mike's saying, Derps, the number doesn't get you bird rights. It's a term of 3 years to get rights, and other teams ain't going to overpay to get a guy that barely played. Yeah, I don't think the bidding war for Coloco is going to get to those numbers. It could very well be like it's a difference between 5 million, 3 million, or 7 million. Or something like that. 7 million may be too high also. I think Mike's right. That Coloco, in some ways, he ain't done jack shit in the NBA. He played one rookie year. He sat out his second year. And in some ways, he's still got to prove stuff before he gets paid. That's just the damn truth of it right there. Yeah. Yeah. Derps is saying, I'm saying you're bidding with other NBA teams in reference to Coloco's agent for his services unless the NBA wants to give Raps back his bird rights. Well, that's what I'm saying. It's not about bird rights here. In some ways, it's more about like, well, once again, I'll say what I just said. A lot of the NBA teams don't got no money to spend at this point. They've spent most of their money already in free agency. It's like, how long have we been in free agency? A month and a half. So a lot of them spent their money in the first 2 weeks. The Raptors actually have some money right now. So I don't know how much competition, and they may be gauging this, looking across all 30 teams and saying, well, who's still got some flexibility to try and steal Coloco from us and outbid us? They may be gauging this. They feel very confident with the amount we have still open compared to the other 29 teams. That's what we got to think about. This is late in the free agency period, and coffers are real tight right now. Coffers are real tight. Yeah. James is saying, couldn't we had Maxey for Lowry, or was that just rumors? Masai wanted picks. I've never heard that deal. I don't think the Sixers have ever considered trading Maxey. That they got him, they're glad with him, they've never been unhappy with him, and that was never a realistic deal. You're talking about way back when we had Lowry then? What Maxey was like a rookie, and they just got him. So no. There's none of this there. There's none of that there. There's no truth to any of that. Andrew's saying Shamshe wasn't trained as a big. He was trained as an all-around player, so his playmaking is underrated. He's got a natural gift for it, apparently. That's what his first coach that discovered him, said. That the thing that's super impressive about him, the thing that impresses him the most is his passing acumen is really, he's got a natural gift for it. So he's a naturally really good passer. In some ways, that came really easily and naturally to him while he was learning basketball so far. So he's got a court vision, and that's a really good skill for him to have. Mike's saying, Derps, go research who has money left to sign players. Only certain teams can give him over the minimum. That's it right there. The Raptors have no MLE right now. They could give the MLE to Coloco, but they won't probably because of what Mike's saying. That's an overpay. So they could give the MLE to somebody completely different still because they still got it, I think. They may not have the exact MLE. They may have the smaller one. I'm not totally sure. Mike's saying, Derps, other teams already use their MLE is my point. There you go. We'll get it all cleared out. There we go. James is saying Shamshe has higher potential than Coloco if developed properly. I agree with this. I will completely agree with this. I think he already does have more potential than Coloco because in some ways he has a very quickness to him that's very interesting, and some of it's up here. Some of it's very smart stuff that is going on with Shamshe already. Yeah, Derps is saying that OKC has 11 million. Well, I mean, all right, I would say this. If Rich Paul and Christian Coloco can decide where he wants to play, and he already knows what Toronto's all about, he's going to pick Toronto over OKC. You don't think so? Oh, what the hell is out in the middle of OKC? And don't they already have the Slender Man? I don't see this as a real threat, the Thunder. I really don't. I mean, unless that's what Rich Paul wants to do. Yeah, you're going to be on the Thunder, Coloco. It's like, I'm going to be out in Oklahoma City. Nah, man, I want to be somewhere where it's happening. Toronto. I don't know. And somebody's before, once again, I won't get ahead of steps. The first thing we got to wait for is for the NBA to clear him to play, and then we'll see what happens after that. That's the only thing that matters. If he can't get cleared to play and he never plays again, well, this is all moot point where we're talking about, right? Right? Yeah. And Mike's saying OKC isn't going to overpay for Koloko. They have picks for days. Yeah. That see, Mike's got good logical arguments, as hence his name. Kelly works at 4 and 5, so he fits well on the bench. Yeah, Olynyk's good. Olynyk's good on our team. I like him being here. Derps is saying Vanderbilt's still good or too expensive, I guess. Jared Vanderbilt? I don't know. That may be in the cards. I have no idea. We'll have to see. You guys are doing too much speculation on free agency and trades. You guys know that I don't do this shit on this channel. I don't do this D'Angelo Russell rumor shit. I like to talk about shit when it happens. And realistically, I can talk about Koloko in his situation, but I am not going to go over different names like Vanderbilt and Russell and Rui Hachimura too extensively. In fact, I've talked way more about it than I usually do just now. I like talking about things after they happen. Andrew's saying so many players get better when they leave LA. Lonzo, Randall, Ingram, Hart, Caruso, Kuzma, and more. Part of it is the shadow of LeBron and like not being able to fully develop correctly. Part of it is the Lakers are not a good development team. Part of it is that they're really bad at assessing who they should keep and who they should get rid of. You know, Lonzo, I'm not going to put him as a success on there. He's been hurt for so long, and in some ways, I've forgotten how good he is. In some ways, he's a wasted person in the NBA to me. Randall, yes. Ingram, yes. Hart, I don't even remember. Was Hart on the Lakers? I don't even remember. I don't care. Caruso, sure. Kuzma, sure. Those four are really good examples of what you're talking about, Andrew, for sure. Andrew's saying, I think Vanderbilt's value is kind of low. He's similar to Oshai, where he has like zero offense. Well, we don't need a duplicate. James is saying, I don't see Rui getting traded. Maybe D'Lo. Yeah, once again, I don't give a shit about Lakers trade rumors. In some ways, we're talking way too much about Laker players today, guys. Mike's saying, James, hang on, it jumped. And once again, y'all stop writing comments. I want to finish up. James wants Reeves gone. James fans want Reeves gone, but Roy is the salary piece they need going out to get certain guys. Okay, yeah, this is not Laker freaks, guys. Derps is saying Koloko would be perfect to bring Shamshay along, assuming Shamshay isn't in the 905 24/7, both being from Cameroon. I love the twin tower pairing of Koloko and Shamshay. Reacquire Koloko. Koloko maybe not doing 905 work and staying just on the main roster, but Shamshay will jump back and forth. And Shamshay will be able to learn from Koloko, but it may go vice versa too. There may be stuff. I don't know how much Ulrich can teach Christian, honestly. Christian playing for Arizona for so long and Shamshay being so young at 18. Mike saying Jalen Hood is 2022. Yeah, I don't care. I'm going to skip that comment. I don't care. Derps is saying, and teach him how to be a big maybe. You know, Koloko could help Shamshay with timing and shot blocking. I'm sure he could. Alan's saying Team USA women win by 1 point over France. So it's over. USA has gotten the senior women's gold for basketball at the Paris Olympics. Aja Wilson, congratulations. Jewel Lloyd, all y'all. Brittany Griner, Stewie, all y'all. Yeah, good job. G saying, I wish that was a 3 instead of a 2 at the end. France almost had the overtime. Interesting. Trevor saying France scares the USA women, but USA wins the gold 67-66. Lots of sixes in there. Derps is saying third year Koloko wasn't guaranteed. His third year of his contract wasn't guaranteed. Okay, that's good information. Alan's saying USA wins all the medals every Olympic summers and winter. That's not accurate. Andrew's saying Fultz is the best free agent at this point, I think. Markelle Fultz? Yeah, we don't need that position. Derps is saying Okaro is a restricted free agent still available, but cost to pick. Raps did pay Koloko the second year where he didn't play, I believe. So we did pay Koloko last year, even though he didn't play. Yikes. Okoro is not a bad player for us to get. If that may be the guy, who knows? Mike is saying Koloko's blood clot made things hard. It has to do with liability, and the right to play council makes sure the league isn't at risk by being liable for death in a workout or practice under contract. That's exactly it right there. Mike's got it exactly right there. Derps is saying, I guess the Raptors are basically bidding with Utah and Detroit. Laugh out loud. I don't even know if it'll get to that point. It could very well be that Adam Silver makes a special ruling and says the Raptors have the right to try and sign Koloko first, seeing as he was on their team and their draft pick. So we don't know yet. In some ways, Masai is lobbying with Adam Silver to try and get what I just said, I'm pretty sure. And they just want to be flexible and ready for it. Now, what we'll hear, hopefully, is Koloko's cleared to play by the committee, and then Masai has done something where Adam Silver says, yeah, Masai Ujiri and the Raptors have the first chance to sign. And that's it. If there's an unrestricted free agent bidding war and Rich Paul's all yay and stuff like that, well, we'll just have to see how it goes and whether the Raptors value keeping Christian on our team over other teams trying to overpay for him. You know, we got to be smart about this because he has a weird medical history now. And in some ways, we don't want to go all out just to retain our thing, even if it's somebody, it's like, yeah, we need to keep him. But maybe there's something about it that Masai and Bobby are like, you know what? Maybe we can't do this. And we're okay because we have Shamshay and we have Fernando as a backup just in case. So let's see. James is saying, I think you're wrong about Maxey. He was a rookie and hadn't proved anything yet. Sixers were willing to trade him, but Masai wanted picks. You can Google search it. It's all there. Okay, I don't remember it. In some ways, once again, this is not a trade rumor channel. We don't talk about trade rumors too much. Y'all kind of talked about it too much today. And in some ways, that didn't happen. So there's no woulda, coulda, shoulda. We can't do this. That's like, what, 4 years ago almost? So it's like, why do we do this, guys? Why do y'all want to do woulda, coulda, shoulda all the time? I'm not a woulda, coulda, shoulda channel. We're talking about what is very realistic and happened already. So, I mean, James, it's fine. We could talk about this, but I'm like, you know what? At that time, I don't know. I don't care. In some ways, that's a fallen trade rumor that never happened. It's a make-believe. It's a fan fiction. And what, you're going to get me to go, oh, Masai was an idiot for not trading Kyle Lowry for Tyrese Maxey at the time? No, because we don't know how realistic that was. That was all just blather, blah, 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 blah. And it didn't happen. Once again, I like to deal with things that actually happen. And I'm sick of trade machine fan fiction, whether it's D'Angelo Russell, whether it's the one you just talked about with Maxey and Lowry. Yeah, it's all fan fiction to me. And it's not real until it happens. So with all due respect, that's how I feel about it. All right, guys, we were talking about the media deals for the NBA and how they're turning their backs on TNT. Charles Barkley will not be turning his back on Turner, and he will be staying with them for the rest of the 10 years of his contract because he's a loyal guy and he likes money. How about that? Leo Routens is saying there's always something to be thankful for this morning on his life tips. I agree with that for sure. We did the Instagram stories. I talked about Brian Winders already script writing next Olympics, writing some BS. And, oh, yeah, there's a birthdays today. Let me see. Happy birthday to Raptor Freak Nins. It's actually Nin's birthday, y'all. So happy birthday to Nins, recent Raptor Freak that's shown up on the channel. Y'all check out the Raptor Freak community tab where I've got a clip from when I went to Iron Maiden 5 years ago and a day ago. Yeah, I went to see Iron Maiden at the Budweiser stage 5 years ago, and it was awesome. And there's a commemoration of that in the community tab. So if you want to watch the silly little clip, it's fun. All right, y'all, thanks for watching me today. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share, and I'll be back tomorrow with a Monday moment or a Monday memory, whatever. We'll see what it is. I'll figure it out today, and we'll be back at 9:30 every single day we're doing it. And, yes, there will be trivia on Tuesday morning at 9:30, so be there for that too. All right, thanks for watching, everybody. Let's go Raptors. Let's keep our heads up high. And Team Canada, man, the future's bright, and so is the Raptors' future's bright. So we got to wear the shades. And also, we just got to have, like, positive outlooks and stop talking bad things into existence. We want good things to happen. We want good script writing. Write some good scripts for Canada again, NBA and FIBA. I'm sick of y'all writing us out of the script like you did to Team Canada at the Olympics. That's right. W Sunday. Thank you, Isaac. And good job getting that classic card. Sam Perkins. Yeah, a little bit of assist from Butt Dial. All right, y'all, let's go. Let's go.